All right, welcome back, Silver Twilight Games. This is episode 2 of the official stream, and this is the second half of The Hopeful, and I am hopeful that we'll finish it tonight. So I'm David. I'm the keeper. Who are you people?
I'm Jake. I'm playing Sasha, a
Babson, who was an up-and-coming boxer who came into a lot of money from his creepy grandfather.
I am playing Jeb Spiegelman, a sleazy lawyer.
I'm Susanna. I'm playing Astrid Netta Elliott. She's a police constable.
Constable Elliot.
Constable Elliot.
And in the grand tradition of things, I didn't write your names down, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting them now. Boxer, cop, Russian, and lawyer. Got it. Those are your names.
Spot on.
Russian
Anyway.
one. What are you doing?
Anyway, when last we left our intrepid adventurers, you were looking at the comatose body of one Toby Floyd. Floyd Toby.
Floyd
Toby.
Yeah.
You were looking at the comatose body of one Floyd Toby. You gathered up some clues when you had an opportunity to do so, and before the feds arrived. The feds stormed the room, and then when they saw it was you again, the two of you, and it was Agent Trent leading the charge, along with our friend, who's Kira's character, who I can't remember her name. She's there as well, just in case she shows up tonight. Anyway, and to in future so that she has one more point of contact with the story. They stormed the place. They realized it was you, and they said, "What the fuck? You again?" The entire idea that whoever had to frame Toby has failed, just by your very presence and the fact that by now the FBI trusts you. Because you had, I don't know, what was it, 90 tons of alcohol that you turned in?
Yeah.
So
And
you
a
would
bunch
be
of
pretty much
boxes.
the last people who would murder somebody for a 40 ounce of rye. Or Canadian Club, or whatever it is that's on the counter. So after the initial fright of that and a Reservoir Dogs-like standoff, not quite, where you guys had weapons pointed at you and you talked them down and they recognized you, that situation blew over very quickly. And now what you have is the four of you standing talking to Agent Trent and the FBI agents. The four of them that are there are combing through all the different items in his place. Archie Fisher, who's not here tonight, he is going to be ministering, helping Floyd out, and in fact the ambulance has been called and he is waiting outside to hail it, and Floyd will be going to St. Mary's Hospital to be taken care of, probably by Kira's other character, the doctor, or the other doctor that we have in the campaign.
Oh, you don't want him to administer care.
No, he's not that good. If it's Biakis, he's your man.
Yeah.
But otherwise, not so
Weird
much.
eggs is his jam.
Strange.
Weird eggs is his jam.
Yakis, he's your man.
At any rate, it's about 4 in. You are all exhausted. You've answered a lot of Trent's questions. Like I said, his suspicions were allayed by the state of the place and the fact that they do trust you after all that alcohol was given up freely to them. And so now you are in the room speaking with him. So I'm going to ask you to describe yourselves and take an action or make a statement, whatever you like. We'll start with our Russian student.
Sasha he has his hands in his pockets and he is just trying to look as friendly as possible and non-intimidating around the federal agent who may very likely send him home. Nodding politely.
Excellent.
Luther's sort of hanging back a little bit. Probably has just exchanged some pleasantries with Agent Trent Oh, and he's tall. He's got like blonde hair. He's very big. He's like 6'4". And yeah, he's probably just like dusting from where he got dirty on his nice clothes from searching around, looking through his wallet and such.
Well, he's a boxer though,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
he looks like he's taken a few hits.
Good point. Yeah, his like nose has very clearly been broken before, and one of his eyes doesn't like open all the way.
Excellent.
Jeb Spiegelman is, as always, wearing his charcoal gray, larger suit than he should be in. He's kind of a man who's in constant motion. He has a slicked back, kind of cue ball hair, quite greasy, very mousy face. He is acting very calm around Agent Trent, but there is a slight twitch in his hand as he's just pinching himself over and over again to keep himself calm. And he is asking Agent Trent,
okay, go ahead.
respectfully, sir, what drew you to this apartment, if you don't mind me asking?
And Agent Trent is about to answer. And
Astrid is, she's a small woman, 25, about 5'4", wearing an oversized men's constable outfit because she doesn't like wearing skirts, short dark hair, and she is wildly writing down everything that all of the FBI agents are doing, trying to pick up any of their technique.
And they do know what they're doing, and eventually that might be a good job for you to be part of the FBI.
Exactly. Fuck being the first female chief of police.
Yeah.
I'm going federal agents.
Yeah, especially in Arkham, where you get the worst cases on the planet. And you do notice that there is a female federal agent here, and she seems to be very competent. And it's interesting. I don't know if you've spoken to her since, but now you know that she was a federal agent.
Yeah.
And the both of you shared a look, and
Said nothing.
said nothing.
Said absolutely nothing to her.
So-
Little nod.
So yes, there's a female agent here, and so Trent, what was your question again for Trent?
What was it that brought your attention to this apartment?
We got a call about a half an hour ago that there was a disturbance in this place.
I know this is maybe confidential, but would you mind who called?
It was an anonymous call.
Male, female,
Female.
old, young,
But it sounded like a young woman.
accent?
She had I would call it a New England accent.
Okay.
It's very strange. Yeah, they called us. They said there was she called us. She said there was a disturbance here, and she thought that the mob were involved. And then and there was a smell of alcohol.
Well, that does make sense. I mean, you have to agree with me. The coincidence that we had just arrived and the action had just happened, and then you get this phone call. I mean,
It's a setup.
yeah. I assume you are all doing your jobs and figuring out
agree.
who may have done it. I also agree.
We've been following the O'Banion gang for a while,
Oh,
and I suspect that they've got your number, Mr. Spiegelman.
oh yeah. They threw a brick through my window.
What?
They threw a brick through my window.
When?
This morning? No, would have been like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago. I chased after them. I was going to give them.
You didn't want to call it in?
Well, I mean, I have no concrete evidence that it was. They wrapped a little bandana around it.
Why didn't
that
you
was.
tell me?
Was it green?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to need you to write up about the incident.
Well,
Were there
that,
any
my,
other
my,
witnesses?
my friend, Mrs. Trent, I mean, I'm sure you can appreciate a man in a position such as myself does not want a bunch of federal agents walking around his offices
Yeah,
during the
that's
daylight
fine,
hours.
but I'm going to need you to write, to come in and make a statement.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
why don't I handle it? It was in Arkham.
It's a federal matter.
Right.
So I'm going to need you to write a statement. This is Wednesday morning. Why don't you come in on Friday?
Oh, looks like I need a lawyer now. Yeah, no, I'll come in.
All right. Were there any other witnesses?
My secretary?
Her name?
Oh no.
Louise.
Louise.
Lori?
Lovely woman.
Lori?
And her last name?
Oh,
Oh, so she was Irish? Albanian?
no, I believe she's Portuguese or something. I'll get back to you on that. I just hired her. I think maybe,
Alright.
Fernandez? That doesn't
Fernandez.
sound right.
All right, you get back to me on that, and if you can bring her on Friday, that would be excellent.
Oh, okay.
All right, and he writes an address down, and he says, and I'll expect you at 10 o'clock on Friday morning.
Wonderful. You have my full cooperation.
It's late, so I think you should probably go home. I feel it's important to warn you that that the Albanians are extremely dangerous. The alcohol that they're importing into this area is making them a lot of money. They are armed. They're extremely dangerous. And although it seems like fun and games at the moment, a drink and a speakeasy, everybody does it, they say, you should know that there's a lot of blood mixed in with that alcohol. And a lot of people have paid with their lives for what's going on right now with this war. So be careful. If you find that they are harassing you, if they're following you, if you have any knowledge at all of any gang contacts, we need to know. We're tracking them. That shipment that we disrupted was a major blow to them, and they are probably out looking for revenge. And you would most likely be at the top of the list. I don't know what they know about the events of that evening, because there were no survivors except for the two of you, but they may be interested in asking you questions about it, and I would be very careful. And if you feel that you need support, if you need protection, then come to us, and perhaps we can provide it.
Luther kind of I think stands up a little straight and says, a few Innsmouth police actually came to my house recently, and they seemed very interested in the tunnel.
The Innsmouth police came.
The Innsmouth police.
He's got a pad. He's writing these
Yeah.
things down. Innsmouth police came.
Yeah.
Did you get any names or badge numbers?
And then Luther checks his pocket and he's like, I wrote it down somewhere, but I don't have it on me.
I know. No, I don't, because I wasn't there.
All right. Yeah, but you remember.
But maybe I remember.
It was Birch and Martin
Birch,
and
Martin, and Ropes.
There you go.
right? And so you've got that, and you actually had a piece of paper that Birch had written
Right.
you with his name and number on it. So you can give that to him if you wish, or you can keep it for yourself.
I show it to him, and I
Right.
give
He,
him a
he just
second
writes the information down.
Yeah.
So Constable Birch, I'm not surprised that the local police got in contact with you. Did they say anything about the investigation?
They
or-
weren't happy that you were there.
Well, that's interesting. We informed them after the raid, or after we came in and seized the materials, but we asked them to stay away because it was a federal investigation. So it's interesting that they told you that they were not happy that we were there.
I thought so too.
All right. Confidentially, there's Innsmouth is part of a broader investigation of running and criminal activity, and the town seems like it might be a haven for this kind of activity. There are a lot of abandoned warehouses. There are a lot of abandoned buildings. If we found all that material in your house, Mr. Babson, you can imagine what might be actually in the town of Innsmouth. So, as with the gang situation, if there is information about Innsmouth, which you uncover, if you uncover any activity involving crime, specifically alcohol, tobacco, firearms, any of that material, please contact us. And with that, he flips up his book and he says, "You're very tired. You should go home. I'll see you on Friday, and thank you for taking care of Mr. Toby Floyd. Toby, I can't
Mr.
remember.
Toby.
Mr. Toby.
Mr. Toby.
Thank you for taking care of Mr. Toby. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Always a pleasure seeing you.
The cool air greets you as you leave the apartment. You realize that you dodged a federal bullet, most likely due to your other experiences in the past. And the four of you now. Archie has gone with the comatose body of Mr. Toby to the hospital, and so you come down the steps, and the federal agents are busy working away. What do you want to do?
What?
We've already investigated. I guess we should. I'm gonna go home and get a sandwich.
Yeah, I think we should rest.
I think rest is very important here.
Luther, do you want to? Are you going all the way home? Do you want to just sleep in my office? My mom can make you something.
That sounds good.
I mean, she'll be pissed it's so late, but you know.
We don't have to wake her. I can just.
Oh no! I'll wake her. That's fine.
All right. And so the two of you go back to your place. Where are you guys going?
I will go back to my dormitory
Together.
in Miskatonic. Constable Elliot! Come
You
stay.
have a little place.
Oh
Come, I can make tea
No,
for us.
I'm going to stay here.
Oh,
Help
okay,
out.
wonderful. That's very good.
All right, you're gonna stay here. And then what time are you meeting tomorrow?
4 p.m.
Right and early.
So, yeah, we should probably meet early, but.
It's 4 a.m.
It's
Yeah,
4
it's 4
a.m.
a.m. right now.
Anything less than 5 hours sleep, I'm gonna make you have negatives on.
Yeah, let's
on
say like
all-
11.
Noon?
At 10
We're
o'clock?
going to amuse. Yeah,
11?
let's meet at 11 at my office.
11.
Sounds good.
11.
Okay.
Sounds
All
good.
All right, so to your homes you go. You're staying how long?
3 hours. It's mainly me puttering around trying to get more information and see what they're doing and ingratiate myself, and I'm making everybody coffee and people are just kind of get the fuck out of here.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I probably go home at around, I'd say 6 o'clock.
Make a spot hidden and a law roll.
Ooh.
Spot hidden is 70, which is still good.
Okay, you can check it and make your law roll.
Okay. Nah, not for law.
Not for law.
No.
All right,
That's fail.
you impress. Was it a critical? Fail?
For
Was it a fumble? Your law roll? What'd you roll?
96, yes.
All right, you impress Agent Trent with your with uncovering a couple of things that weren't immediately noticed by everybody else, but then you did cause a chuckle amongst all of the agents when you made some mistake in terms of the legalities of alcohol and the amounts, and you made it was late and you were tired, and it was a vague statement of yours, and you noticed that they were looking at each other and they considered you a bit of a local yokel. So you impressed Trent. He didn't overhear that, but the other agents were snickering.
Damn it.
And it was a late night, and you went home thinking, "Oh, I don't know."
Wasting my fucking time.
Well, it was something. So
I made a choice, okay?
you made a choice, strong and wrong. All right.
Hell yeah.
So but you are remembered as being, despite that, you were helpful, and you're in his good books.
Great.
And so the next day, we're gonna skip over the evening stuff. Nothing untoward happens. Your accommodations are fine. You sleep well, and you gather. Each of you enter Spiegelman's office at about 11. The two of you are already there. The two of you come in almost at the exact same time. You notice now that that there has been a new window put in recently.
My girl works fast.
And you enter. There's coffee that you can smell within, and your secretary is there, and she brings coffee in, and she says, "Oh, come in, officer, come in." And she hands you a cup of coffee, and what would you like? What would you like, sir?
Do you have any tea?
We do. I'll bring some right over. She
Lovely
says.
tea, thank you.
She's got a good spirit. This woman. She's very bright, and she's in her mid-30s, and seems to just love life. and she brings in some scones as well as some
Fucking die.
tea.
Don't kill my secretary.
Louise is great.
Shit.
She's not protected. You didn't protect her in your character sheet, did you? I'm just questioning. I'm just
It's a
asking.
new.
Right.
It's
oh,
a
so
new
she-
character.
So she's not protected.
Oh my god.
Okay. Anyway, so she brings you scones and she brings you tea,
Scones, I
and
love.
and they were baked by her this
Ah.
morning. These scones, they're excellent.
Yeah, Lubla scones.
And she starts flirting with you a little bit. And she says things like, still single, that kind of stuff. If you like scones, you like those. There's more where that came from, that kind of thing. And and then pretty soon you're left to your own devices in the office. There are 3 chairs and somebody has to stand, or
I'll
lean
stand.
up, or lean on the desk.
I'll stand.
Question. And I don't actually get to ask this question very often, so I'm going to enjoy asking it. Where's the Necronomicon?
Well,
It's right
Keep
there.
track of that shit.
not so. We discussed earlier that there is. I do not have the Necronomicon in my
On me.
office. In my safe, I have the other horrible book.
Right, and that is in this office.
That is in my
but
safe.
the
The
Necronomicon is at the
Necronomicon is
bank?
in a safe at his home.
Yeah.
Really?
We built a safe in the basement, like a secret little.
Right,
Like
and so no one's guarding it. It's just in your home.
No, but it's highly secure. Like I
What a
like.
question?
I
'Cause-
think like I have.
Can we say we
I
keep
have-
it in my office? You insisted it be at your house.
Yeah,
right?
I know. It is at my house. It's gotta be. But like I have like I think I've hired like I have people, especially since the cops came.
You've got a full-time security. You've got Corey Weston. That's
Yeah,
the
they're
name,
not
right?
like they're not like real security, but like I bet
They're fishermen.
Can I have hired my other character? I was gonna ask you that before.
Oh,
Can I have hired Sanford from the other game?
of course you can.
He's on it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you've got your other
Also,
characters.
he's a protected person because.
That's a loophole of the rules.
Yeah,
Create
so
2
he can
characters
never
and have
die.
the other character that...
Oh my god.
Well,
No,
because I looked at
it's
the
not
protected
really-
person, and
It's
it was
not
my
really a
older
loophole,
brother who
because
did
the rule itself states this, FYI. That if you have a protected person or an
Yeah.
item or a pet, Rolly's my protected pet, that the game master has to give you at least a roll to protect them.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I can murder my cute little dog.
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Come here.
Just gotta enter into the podcast.
This is fan
I can
service.
I can murder my little Rolly, but I can get a roll to prevent it from happening.
Yeah.
Okay, right, buddy? Okay. So that's the rule.
Okay.
So Sanford, yeah, I could kill him off when you're playing the other character, but you'd at least get the roll to save him.
Cool.
Great.
I feel like I should choose a protected person. I right now have a protected
Well,
ideology.
I'm sorry, we have 2 then, don't we? We have your mom who lives upstairs, and we have Louise. So who are you going to protect?
I should have protected.
So I can pick one protected person.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I?
You're
Okay.
going to pick your secretary or
'Cause
your
I
mom?
picked capitalism before, but no, I'll pick. I'll
If
pick my mom.
capitalism
Adam
is
Smith,
threatened,
like-
as it is at the end of the era, in 1929,
You have to make me roll to stop
to
communism.
stop the stock
market
market
Stock
crash.
market crash.
You failed, and that's why the Great Depression
And
happened.
then Jeb hangs himself, just like
Yeah, just
Oh.
that's the end of Jim.
Well, at least you
Every-
survived campaign.
yeah.
No
he
Cthulhu.
straps
Oh,
himself
God.
to the Necronomicon and drowns himself.
Oh.
Anyway.
No, okay. So then my mother. If I have to choose a protected person, it would be my mother.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
All right.
What is that?
Because I was going to roll
It's my mother.
your mom as being kind of a bitch.
No, she's horrible.
Just kidding.
No, she throws shoes at me. She's an
All right.
absolute nutcase. But she's my mom, and I love her, and she's my protected person.
Okay, so Louise brings over the scones to you, and you are enjoying them, and you are, like I said, left alone.
Just before Louise leaves, I just say, Louise, you are such a wonderful secretary, and I would just like to say, with some of the strange happenings that have been going on in this town, I just want you to stay safe, okay?
I will. I've been thinking a lot about that kid that threw that rock through the window.
Yeah.
I asked around the area if anyone had seen him, and nobody seemed to have seen the kid before. But I'm going to keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, I mean, don't investigate. How about you get a little protection? Maybe keep it in your purse.
Protection?
Yeah.
This is Arkham. It's safe.
Yeah. I'd suggest just for kicks. It's fun. You can go with the gals to the shooting range.
No, I think I'm fine, Jip.
Okay.
Do you have recipe for scones?
I do.
Oh, Jesus.
I do, sweetie.
Would you think someone would maybe share that with?
She leans close and you can smell her perfume, which is quite lovely. She smells like a very soft fragrant of perhaps roses, but with scone added to it.
Why are you killing my secretary?
And she writes down her her recipe, and it's really quick. And then at the end, she writes Louise and puts a little the way that all the letters are rounded in her name. You can tell she likes you. Anyway, you get the recipe.
Recipe received.
She gives to charity every time off of her paycheck. Just a wonderful woman.
Louise is an amazing woman. She's got 3 children at home. No, she doesn't. She's single. She's
They're
single.
all
She doesn't
foster
have
children.
Yeah, but she does have a sick little brother. He's in his early 20s, and she just takes care of him. Anyway, but let's not worry about Louise. She goes off to investigate what's been going on with your place, and the 4 of you are left alone.
Jeb dies. You should be Louise.
Yes.
Well, I would say that going to Newburyport would be the most useful action and museum.
But before we skip town, let's go to the museum.
Yeah. Let's get my car. We'll go to the museum.
That sounds wonderful.
All right, so you all hustle into the car. It is, I believe I said before, it is October, right? So the leaves are starting to change. It's really beautiful in New England in the fall, and this being a university town, you can't help but have a feeling for all these young students who are going off on their, starting their lives, going to classes, having no idea of some of the things that you've seen or faced already in your short careers. You're still one of those students. This is a great adventure for you.
This is so much fun.
And you find yourself quickly walking up the steps of the Miskatonic Museum. Beautiful building, about 80 years old, with strong bones to it. And there is an exhibit there. Did you have a specific
What's on the ship,
exhibit museum, admit one.
well, you can basically get into the entire museum. You're specifically looking for something in particular, though, which would be anything connected to Innsmouth.
Yeah.
Also, could I approach usually have like a reception or like a
There's a security officer there, but then there are just
there's no like guide or anything?
there are curators. This is because it's the 20s. It's not as tourist focused. Museums and libraries tend to be workplaces, like
More academic.
people actually use them to research. So it's not quite the same relationship. If you want to find a museum curator, you can. You could find a security guard at the front desk, and otherwise you can wander through. These aren't huge. Again, it is Arkham. It's not like, honestly, it's not even like the Royal Ontario Museum, which is huge in comparison, or the British Museum. This is a university town museum. They've got local history sections. They've got a few items imported from around the world. And otherwise, it's going to take you maybe 3 hours to go through the entire place in detail, and an hour to skim and look for local history.
Okay. I would like to look
I'm going to make you make library use rolls.
Yeah.
Yay.
So should we all look for different things for our library use rolls, or should we all?
Why don't you roll? I'm going to allow you all 1 roll each for the next hour.
Okay.
And then we'll see what we get.
I have a question about the information that we got from Archie. Did he share the information that he got?
He did. He did.
So we know about Obed Marsh. We know about the esoteric order of Dagon. We know about all that shit.
What you know is that in the old days, over 100 years ago, Obed Marsh was one of the main guys in Innsmouth. He traveled to the South Seas. He brought back with him a religion called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. You know that the town itself had a fight with him, and there was a lot of news in the press about this thing because it was not considered a Christian religion. And you know that there was some sort of cataclysm that happened, and the paper was no longer produced after that. And before the cataclysm, there were always articles about how Obed Marsh was a bad guy, and after, there were a few more newspapers printed, and the Marsh family was not considered bad after that. There were no more editorials about them. So you surmise that there was a war in Innsmouth, and the Marshes won. That's what Archie told you, and but there is still, you feel, much to learn about Innsmouth. So, who succeeded in the library use roll?
Yeah.
You. Anyone else?
Neat.
Well, I'm glad somebody succeeded. So I'm going to only give you the one piece of information.
What's your good, yeah.
So you better get to Newburyport. So, all right. So, in a dusty display case in a dark corner of the museum, you find it. Specimens of Innsmouth jewelry. Now, do you remember when I said he brought things back from the South Seas?
Yes.
Obed Marsh did. Well, you find there are Polynesian-influenced golden armlets, and they're in a case, and they were sold to the museum in 1844 by one of the sailors from the Marsh vessel, the Sumatra Queen. These pieces are made of whitish gold, and they're called armlets, which is interesting because they're about this wide.
Okay.
And as you look at them, they're carved with odd geometric designs, almost random. They're not runic, because runic there would be symmetry. You could read it. These are sort of, there's all these geometric forms that are sort of fighting amongst themselves. Plus, Ichthyic and Bactrian figures, Batrachian figures, which means fish and frog-like figures sort of dancing and cavorting along with these strange geometric shapes.
Could Sasha use any sculpting to see if they can if you can glean any more of
You're an artist?
yeah sculpting?
Make a roll.
Success.
The craftsmanship is amazing. It's incredible. Not only are these gold and so incredibly valuable, the figures. It's artistically it's interesting because they are simple. They were simple in design, but they are exquisite in craftsmanship. So it's like the people who made them could have done much more intricate things. And in fact, you see the intricacy amongst the symbols and the geometric shapes, but the figures themselves are almost archetypical. And they're powerful symbols of fish people and frog people and frogs and fish and people that have fish heads and frog mouths. It's that's what you see, but it's also done very simply. And you could point this out to people. You saw that they were there, but only when Sasha started to. Well, you're not picking them up, obviously. They're behind the glass case.
Sasha points out all these little details and explains them to everybody here.
I'm just sharing meaningful looks with Luther, being like,
Yeah.
Make a Constitution roll.
Oh, fuck me. What is the Constitution? Oh, yeah, my Constitution.
What would that be?
That is it's just a hard success. So close.
Just a hard success.
Yeah.
Something about this jewelry is making me sweat.
Jewelry is making me sweat.
Jesus.
So I don't when Jeb's trying to look at me, I kind of notice that he's looking at me, but I don't.
Luther, you're looking slick. Almost like fish on armlets.
Are you saying that? Because you don't notice.
Could I-
necessarily. I'm not going to give you a spot in for that. It's just his own private.
Okay.
Right. Let's strike that from the record. So that's. But there's something about it that makes you get your heart pounding.
Is it just like I'm just a visceral reaction to it? Like I'm just nervous?
It's almost a physical reaction.
Right.
A psychophysical reaction.
So I'm off somewhere looking at something, then I hear him and I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. That's exactly it. It
Alright.
makes you sweat.
Yeah.
Can I continue my investigation?
Of course.
Can I look, as well as things about Innsmouth, can I also look for anything about Arabic strange books?
All right. So you're pretty sure if you start looking up Arabic strange books in this exhibit, you're gonna. That's like a whole other campaign.
And then we found ourselves doing the Masks of Nerleth.
That's exactly
by
it.
accident.
Yeah, which I don't own yet, but I will because it looks
Okay.
amazing.
Okay.
It's 666 pages long.
Wow.
Oh my god, are
Oh,
you kidding?
fuck off.
I thought you were
No,
going to say
yeah, that's
dollars.
what it
and I
is.
was like,
I guess.
It's incredible. I'm totally going to buy it. If you guys wanted to play it, I would totally play it with you.
Yeah.
However, I won't cut this. This is a commercial for nothing. It's
That's
awesome.
what I like.
It looks so good. Anyway, so but you're pretty sure that that's a whole other thing.
I guess what I'm saying, Jeb is now starting to become more and more aware of these strange kind of things, and he's keeping his eye out for them.
Things are merging together.
Yeah.
What's your Cthulhu Mythos skill?
9.
Right. A 9% Cthulhu Mythos skill indicates exactly what you just said. That you're correlating things that seem unrelated at first, but then you're starting to go, oh my god, this is connected. There's a South Sea cult. And in some of the strange books, they mention the South Sea, and so you're starting to put that together.
I also like, after sort of like turning away from the jewelry case, like Luther kind of like leans down a bit to Jem and he's like, "Fish head rock."
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's just
Also Maybe
like
listen,
about
Jeff.
fish head rock.
Yeah. Just generally fish.
What are you two whispering about over there?
What we're gonna have for lunch?
Oh, wonderful. I love fish. I live beside the sea.
It's delicious.
Fishhead Rock, everyone. That's
Yeah.
the famous.
Yeah.
Looks like a fish.
It's wonderful, really.
It's
It's
almost
right
like
by
fish
my
head
house.
in rock.
It's not fucking terrifying.
Yeah. It's my neighbor.
All right. So, what are we doing now, folks?
I'm gonna do some more searching.
You said we
Uh,
did.
Yeah.
You're
it's per
you-
hour, right?
I'm gonna triple the time here. You're gonna spend a lot more time in this library if you wanted any more information.
Okay. I mean, we did 1 hour of searching. That's what we got.
So it's now.
So it would be
noon.
like 3 hours of searching.
So we stay up till
So it's not. It's
Well, okay.
nearly
So
3 p.m.
did you guys find anything interesting?
Yet. It's very interesting.
Okay, wonderful. Well then, should we go?
Is there anything else that I can look at for sculpting? Like, are there any other nothing else?
You'd have to make a successful library use, which you didn't.
I would like to just before we leave, if I could quickly just go up to one of the curators and ask if he had noticed any reporters, specifically Toby Floyd, if he was looking at anything specific. Do we have the date on the ticket of when he was here?
Do you have the date on the ticket?
Is it on the ticket?
I think so.
It probably isn't accurate
Oh,
because I've
here's
changed the dates of
here's
some of the
the-
scenarios.
But
But if
if-
there is a
Oh,
date,
there was
makes-
something. Oh, on the bus.
No, not the bus.
No,
the
it's the ticket,
museum.
but it might say on the expenses.
It says.
this is a
Yeah.
Is there any date on it?
That's
Neat.
Fisher expenses.
No.
No. At the time, they don't really.
Yeah, they wouldn't print that.
They wouldn't pay
That's-
attention. And no, I'm gonna just say he
They-
was
Yeah.
just
a
another person
museum.
looking around a museum.
Okay.
Like you didn't need to go to the curator to find what you're looking for.
Mhm.
So him, okay? But you have at least seen these things and you know what Innsmouth gold looks like.
Mhm. Mhm.
Actually, I made that connection for you. I just misspoke,
Yeah.
but I'm telling
No,
you.
no, but we know like that Marsh found a pirate horde and like that he.
Yeah, but there were. Well, we'll get into it. Okay, so this is some of the gold that he brought back from those ships. That's what you know. Okay, so next, you're off to Newburyport.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to do in Arkham before we?
Can we swing by that? Well, no, we only have a vague location for that restaurant. We don't actually.
And
know.
it might not
Right, yeah.
exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore.
It does not.
After the murders, a couple of years later, the
Oh,
couple
right,
that owned
yeah, you
it
said that.
retired, and it's another business. It's been a long time
Yeah,
since
it's
that
been
happened.
17 years.
And because it's Arkham, there have been many murders since then.
Right, I keep forgetting this
Constable
Arkham.
Elliot gives a knowing
yeah,
smile.
Yeah.
It's like,
Which
Wait,
murder?
I'd like
Which
to
murder?
talk about the murder. Oh, last week? No.
The other-
18 years ago.
The other one.
18 murders ago?
Yeah.
Oh,
Emma,
that would be
which
last week.
Emma that got killed?
Which Emma that got killed? Was that the one that the flapping wings from the moon, or was that the elder
Don't talk
god from
about
beyond
flapping
time and
wings.
space?
Is that the one with the bears?
Tortured and then stabbed.
Yeah, exactly.
Very important. Okay, let's go to Newburyport then.
Are we driving there or are we taking bus?
Well, I'm driving there. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I would
can
like
lose
you
that
to
you can
ride to
complicate.
Newburyport if I could charm you. I will not charm you, I will ask you.
Or I will let you ride in my car if you never make that face to me again. Wonderful. Okay.
And,
Very good.
and down the
Logic
steps
is
you
yes.
go, and you walk to your car, which is just that's how you got here, right? You were all driving in your car, or not?
Yeah,
or
come
two
from
cars?
your
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Okay. And you arrive. Make a spot in.
Newburyport?
Swear to God, if they damage my car, oh my God. What is it? 43.
43.
Yeah, 43.
You're the first to see it. It's your car. You notice these things. You can see that the passenger side has been smashed in. The window.
Oh! Oh, my baby. Oh, no. I look around. Is there anyone around? Nothing?
No.
Just the passenger side on the drive? Like
Yeah, but you can smell something.
What do
Can
I
I
smell?
respot him?
You can smell fish.
Ugh.
Oh,
Strong
those
fish.
bastards. Is there anything on the car?
There
other
is.
than-
You look in the passenger side, and it looks like someone smashed in the window and threw a bloody fish in there. There's blood all over the seat, and there's just a dead fish.
Looks like we are having fish.
Hey,
for lunch.
could I use Natural World to see what kind of fish it is?
Sure.
Oh my God.
That's
Can I do a
amazing.
spot?
Who knows? Who knows? That is a fail.
It's a codfish. You can tell a codfish.
Okay, good.
Is a
11. Yeah.
Holy shit.
critical excellent success. What is it called when you
Critical
Extreme?
success.
critical extreme success?
Extreme success. Oh,
Yes.
good for you.
Good for you.
Just thinking.
Leave this part in.
No, it's good. Moment of silence for our loyal listeners. All right, so you look around, and you're trying to figure out. You're looking around for something. You smell this fish, and you're like, he's sort of mumbling and cursing.
Freaking out.
And far in the distance, like way down the street, you can see there's a car that's just like, you see it turn the corner at the end of the street, and you can see that it's got about 5 people. It's filled with people. This car, and there's one face that's looking out at you, and it looks like a woman in the back.
Do you point this out?
And
Yeah.
then they're gone, but they're a ways away.
Oh.
Yes, I'm gonna say
Whoa,
just
David knew what I
there,
was
there.
gonna
Look,
do.
look.
Go do it.
Oh, motherfuckers. I get in my car, and I'm like, you coming? Are you guys coming?
Yeah.
And I drive after them.
No, you don't, because it doesn't start.
Oh, they broke it. Oh, they broke my baby. Oh, my God.
You turn it on, and it goes.
Could I?
Doesn't even start.
Is there any way I could repair the vehicle?
Make a mechanical roll, mechanical repair roll.
Where's the
Oh,
other?
my God. All of those skills you picked out are like...
They're helping today.
Success.
Woo! Sasha, you go. Okay, you're looking. Apologize to anybody who knows anything about cars, because I don't. So you start, and Sasha actually comes into his own here. He thinks very methodically about this. It sounds like there's something wrong with like that it started and then it stopped, and then you go and you look in where the gas is, and it's you smell salt water in there. It looks like they filled your gas tank with salt water.
I have bad news for you, Jeb. But car is not going to run.
Oh, car's gonna run. I'm gonna take it down. I got a guy. It's gonna be running again. Okay, is there any people around? You said we're outside of the front of the
There's lots of people. They're just wandering around, going about their business.
Can I ask security at the museum if they saw anyone? I mean, we kind of knew who it was, but
They
like,
didn't.
Of course they fucking didn't. All
No,
right,
of
well,
course they didn't. There were no video cameras.
yeah, no
The
one.
people don't
no.
notice.
What color
Those-
was the car?
Black.
Yeah, any color you like, as long as it's black.
Exactly.
God damn it!
That's the
That's-
20s for you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to obviously share with
Uh,
the group what I saw.
It was a black car.
And I assume is the. Did you determine the make at all?
Ford.
Ford. So this is.
Exactly
there was
the
also
same
a black
as you.
Ford
It's
that
the
was
exact same
tailing-
Yeah,
car.
it's the same car.
The
Yeah.
tailing.
It's
It's the
very.
same car. We're being followed.
It's also a very common car.
So maybe let's just.
But you did note that it was filled with people.
And I don't know what the woman looks like.
Uh,
Archie knows what the woman looks like.
you had an extreme success. I'll give you this. She looked like a flapper.
Motherfucker.
Hmm.
That flapper broke my car. I'm gonna kill her.
No, you're not.
This woman. All right. What do you want to do?
Well, I guess we're taking your car down.
I
to
don't have a
Newburyport.
car, and this also isn't official.
Jeb, not
Police
everyone has
business.
cars.
Do you have a
Where
car?
is your vehicle? You rich
I don't
man?
have a car.
What?
He has a driver. He doesn't have a car.
Okay,
There's multiple
look,
cars.
look. I can take it and get this car repaired.
You could call the tow truck.
I'm gonna call the tow truck and get it fixed, I guess.
How
and
long
then,
would it take?
About a week.
yeah. So,
Why
in
don't
the
we just-
meantime, we can go kick down some doors with our police officer friend here and just go throwing flappers out of, top story windows until we find the right
If you
one.
want something to be done, you're going to need to fill out a report.
Yeah, you can fill out the report of, people out windows. We'll
Mr.
figure it out.
Spiegelman, my hands are tied. I can't do anything.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, that happens in game.
Literally,
That's
that's-
Sasha and Luther.
All right. What are you gonna do?
Well, I guess we are taking the bus.
Yeah, bus. Wonderful. I take bus all the
The
time.
disgusting, gross, slow
Oh,
bus.
calm down. Let's go.
Are you taking the
The one that...
the Innsmouth Newburyport one, or are you going to take the one that goes directly to?
Okay, let's
The
go
direct.
direct to New.
I feel
Yeah.
like direct
Let's go direct, yeah.
You only
I
had the
also
one
think-
vehicle, eh?
Well, I mean,
you have used police
Yeah,
you
but
could
this isn't
literally
a
just
police
buy a car
case.
Yeah,
right
is
now.
there a place to
The
get a
feds
car
are-
nearby?
Like the.
You mean you could buy one?
I can just buy one.
We could go to Newburyport on
You're
bus
like,
and
I
buy
guess
a car.
I should get a car. You're always talking about them.
To be perfectly fair, I feel like, we need a company car for, you are part of Spiegelman and Associates. Maybe we have a company vehicle.
How long would it take to buy a car?
What's your credit rating?
90.
2 minutes.
I look to the nearest car and look
That's
for.
one.
I look and I go and I make the person an offer.
Really?
No,
Okay.
make it a nice car.
Okay, wait. So make a roll. Credit rating roll.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna fail. No,
Ah,
I
that-
succeeded.
Would you succeed?
Just a normal success.
Normal success. Okay, so you can see that there's this woman, and she looks a little bit fierce. She's in her late 40s, and attractive, but fierce.
Mhm.
And she's in the car ahead of you,
Yeah.
and you approach her.
Yeah. I just go. Just give me a second, and I walk over and I
And
like
she says
knock
yes?
on the glass. Say, where'd you get your car?
She looks and she says, "From the dealership on the other side of town."
On the other side of town.
Yeah,
How new is it?
2 years.
2 years? A lot of miles?
Who are you? What do you want to know?
Oh, sorry. I'm just. I'm in a jam, and could I buy your car?
Buy my car.
Yeah, and I like take out my wallet, and I'm like, is this enough? And I take out like I don't know, $2,000.
That's.
She says,
No, do I do? I don't know if I have
Not
that.
you don't need
How
2,000.
much? How
"Yeah." She
It
says,
will say how
"Young
much.
man, that's a
How much?
lot of money you're carrying around."
I go,
A car costs like $500.
I don't know that.
Yeah. All right.
No, I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right.
And she says, I'll take your money, but I'm going to make a donation to charity."
I go, yeah, that sounds good.
So you give her $2,000, and you get yourselves a
How much
car.
can I spend in a
And-
day?
Oh, I don't know what your spending level is. That's in the.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It should say on your. It should be written down.
Oh,
on
I
your
didn't
sheet.
write it down. It should. Oh, it does.
And so
No, it doesn't.
and so your character has just lost her car. Your doctor character. You know who had the doctor?
Edna Price?
Yeah.
Amanda.
Amanda's
And
character,
Price
yeah.
lost her car.
Oh my God.
Amanda Price.
I knew it as soon as you said
Yeah,
that fierce looking
yeah,
woman.
yeah. Yeah, sorry. I thought for some reason I got confused. Okay, yeah. Yeah, she just lost her car. She just sold her car.
Yes.
Poor Amanda. Anyway, she's now richer, but she's going to donate to charity, so
Yeah.
that's all good. She was worried you were the cops. All right.
Oh my god.
Sorry, Suzanne. I just got confused there.
It's okay.
All right.
And
Anyway.
now I'm interested in what's in this car if this woman's a shady lady.
Yeah,
Then
no,
she-
she's not. She's a
oh.
doctor and a professor at the university.
Could I,
Who
uh,
just sold her car.
But could this is kind of could I spot hidden to see if I find anything in the vehicle that might be of use?
Yeah, make a roll.
No.
I will also inspect it for quality.
There's a shotgun in the back.
I saw that
She just left her shotgun.
Well, it was so awkward.
To take it out in
She
broad
just
daylight
left
and
it,
take
yeah.
it with her.
Yeah, and it was 4 times what the car's worth, and she's going to donate the $1,500 to the
Who
charity.
is best firearms skill here?
All right.
Me.
I will take the
So
shotgun.
so fine,
Alright.
and you exchange details so you know who she is.
Okay, yeah.
So it was done. She gives you the deed to the car. It takes you 2 minutes. You pay 4 times. And when you really think about it, guys, if somebody offered you cash, so $80,000 in cash to take your car.
Yup. I'd be like, it's parked over there. I don't have one.
It's right
All right.
there.
All right, so fine.
Um,
It is interesting. You now know who she is. She's a contact, and away you go.
And
Congratulations.
congratulations
Susanna.
on your new purchase of an
Um,
automobile.
And I get
Const-
behind the wheel.
Do you
and
know
I'm
how
like,
to drive?
Well, I'll learn.
Could
Just like
Maybe I
I
should.
have 50 in rifle and shotgun.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I'm going to give it to you and say, you have a license, right?
All right.
Yes, I learned that.
And,
Is that a thing?
and frankly, just for her information, she was really happy to get rid of that car because it was part of the last adventure, and she was worried that it was marked.
Oh, also, sorry. For the
Whoops.
sake of continuity, can we just say that I transferred the things in my trunk to my office somewhere, like a hidden
What
closet?
was in the trunk?
Some Tommy guns and stuff.
Would those not be useful, maybe?
Wait.
going?
For which ones? Whose? Where?
Jeb has like 3 Tommy guns that he's just been.
Oh,
like,
of course, yeah, you can deal with that.
Yeah,
Your
can we
car's
just
not
say-
stolen.
Yeah, no, bro, I'm calling a tow truck to come pick it up. I don't
All
want
right,
them
you
to,
just,
like,
are you
fix it in our new
transferring it
car.
into the new car?
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Okay,
So we have
So-
a shotgun and 3 Tommy guns.
so fine, you've got a shotgun and 3 Tommy guns and a new car, and it's taken you an extra 4 hours to transfer, to get the tow truck, all that stuff. It's now 5 o'clock. What do you want to do? No, let's say it's
Is it-
4 o'clock.
Can I have been, while we're waiting for the truck, and can I have been like asking Jeb, like, what do you do to drive? Like,
But what's your drive auto?
it does. Nothing.
20.
Okay.
20. Yeah, I just want to like ask him because I don't really.
Well, that's
drive.
fine. Yeah.
Cool.
You're at the beginnings, and if you successfully, the first time you drive it, it'll make you make a drive auto and
Okay, yeah. So I guess for starting out, I'm like,
make a drive auto roll.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey!
That's a
Check it.
That's a success.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Like a fish to water.
I can
You
drive.
can drive. You just learned to drive in the 3 hours that you're waiting for
Can
the
I make a
freaking tow
roll
truck.
to teach
While
him?
they're waiting for tow truck,
Yeah.
could Sasha go buy bus tickets for? Oh, we do not need bus tickets.
We don't need bus tickets.
The whole point of getting car was to not get bus.
Okay, so
yes.
time passes, and you're wondering, you got to get to Newburyport. It might take you 2 hours. Is the museum still even open? How's this going to work?
We could find.
Well, no, it's like, what, 6 p.m. if we get there? We could still get there.
Yeah,
We can get a hotel.
6 p.m. is
It's
gonna
a
be
nice plot,
yeah.
place, you know.
We can
It's
walk.
It's a couple hours to trip. Okay, so you're heading out in the new car.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
All right, so
Should have taken the bus.
I think. Do you have
Spoiled
a drive auto?
motherfuckers.
Drive auto skill?
spoiled motherfucker.
Yeah.
Do you like?
It's the same as
Oh,
yours.
it's the
I
same.
All
didn't put
right,
anything in.
so
That's
all of
fine.
you,
That's fine.
you're driving down the beautiful roads of New England. Colors of the leaves changing. It feels like it's getting a bit dark, even though it's only 6. But really, it probably gets dark around 7. So as you approach Newburyport, you see little of the town itself. The darkness is already surrounding you, and you arrive at an old, sad New England town. It has seen much better days, and now it's starting to fade. The smell of the salt from the ocean greets you, and the houses are crowded together like they're afraid of the darkness. And you find yourselves pulling up in front of the Newburyport Museum. You can see the lights as you're about 50 feet away. It's now about 10 after 6. The lights are off of the museum, and there is a woman standing at the front entrance, and she's got keys in her hand. She's just locking the door.
I go running out.
And you can see she locks the door. She's a tall woman. She walks with a incredibly straight back, like she's wearing a corset. She reminds you of a figure from a Victorian novel. A shrewd, handsome, older woman, seems to know what she's about. She locks the door and moves to cross the street. And you pull up.
Yeah, immediately I'm gonna jump out and run up to her.
She looks at you.
Oh, excuse me, miss. Sorry. Are you closed?
She has glasses and they're on the tip of her nose, and she says, "Of course we're closed. It's after 6."
Well, do you think me and my compatriots could go just quickly take a look? We are investigating a very important matter.
Are you tourists?
Absolutely not. I'm gonna step out of the car.
Yeah, please.
And are you dressed in a police uniform?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'll
probably
stay in the
should.
car.
Make. It's like I want you to make a roll all the time about, because you keep meeting these career women, and I feel like you have a charm bonus for them. So let's just make I'm going to give you a free charm roll on her.
30.
Yeah,
30.
that's a success.
You succeed. Okay, so you get out of the car, and she looks at you and she says, "Officer, but how can I help you?"
We were wondering if we could take a look around the museum.
She looks at you, frowns, because you look like you've been beaten up too many times.
Oh, could Sasha stay in the car for this?
Sure.
Yeah. Just better. Just let
So you're back at the car. You hardly even hear this. Are you staying in there for the whole thing?
Yeah, I'll stay and watch the car. Yeah.
Well, miss, we are investigating an important matter involving a
Tilden.
Sorry,
Tilden.
Tilden. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
We are investigating a journalist by the name of Toby. Toby.
Floyd Toby?
Floyd.
Why
Toby.
can't you?
Toby Floyd. He is actually currently the subject of a federal case that is happening, and we discovered that he came to visit
Mr.
your...
Toby is the subject of a federal case. I don't
Well,
believe that.
Okay, that's wonderful, but we are still investigating
He's the
in regards to
subject.
him.
What did he do? What does he get accused
Did
of doing?
you know him well?
Well, he's been here many times.
He didn't do anything. He's been hurt.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. This is a very serious case, and what we'd like to do is get some justice for Mr. Toby.
Well, if there's anything I can do...
There absolutely is something you can do. We'd like to see what he was so interested in when he decided to come up here.
Oh. All right. She crosses. I don't have to be home until about 7 anyway. And crosses and opens the unlatches and opens the door to the historical society. It was it's an old Georgian home which was donated to this historical society and contains many treasures of New England. It's specific to New England, and you could consider it a resource for any investigation that might happen in New England. It's actually one of the better libraries / museums in the area.
I'm still in the car for this, right? Or am I? Okay, yeah, cool.
You are. I assume you're just guarding.
Yeah, I'll just go.
It's not fun, but
Yes,
Bring
then-
a shotgun, man.
it'll
Car
prevent-
got fucked up last time.
No, that's a good
It may
point.
prevent another fish attack, right?
Yes.
I'm
Duh.
gonna hire someone to just stay.
It
in
may
my
be
car.
the
Hire
most
me.
efficient thing to do.
Oh.
Anyway, Tilden opens the door flicks on the electric light, and the place blazes into light. And you can see there are, whether you're an aficionado of this sort of thing or not, aficionado. The place is packed to the gills with paraphernalia from New England's history, and specifically the area. It's almost overwhelming when you look. It's like this. They filled every square inch of this place.
What's the scale?
Stop.
The scale. It's oh my God. Don't get me started. We'll be doing it throughout the evening.
So bad.
I'm gonna be.
We can't do this. We have to stop. I'm not making any more
No, it's
jokes.
fine, it's fine.
No more fish jokes. Anyway.
I feel like all of our wheels are turning.
All of
the
them are
next
turning.
one, okay.
You're being a real bass.
Important investigation.
Yes. Okay. We all want to keep doing it just for the halibut.
Stop! You're fired.
Just tune him out. Tune him.
Tune
Tune
him out.
him. Yeah.
Oh, you just lobster in there, didn't
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
You just don't want to get caught.
Todd, you
doing
stop?
it.
Oh my God. Okay. Jesus.
If anyone's
I'm
watching
cutting this. I'm
yeah,
cutting
you
this.
This
should.
is so bad.
Oh my
You
God.
have to keep it.
I'm cutting some of it.
Put it in
have to
the
keep
bloops.
Put it in
Put it in the
The
blue.
bloops.
Okay,
Actual
we're
play
in the
bloops.
historical society.
You're in the historical
I'm in the
society.
car with the shotgun.
And so I need you to all make library use rolls.
Ooh, that I use.
Oh, I got a hard success.
Boy.
I can't see.
Hey, that's a 0. You got 100.
Whoa.
You literally got 100.
I rolled.
No, that's-
I rolled the double zeros.
Yeah, that's 100.
So I burn it to the ground, or
You break something priceless.
Exactly what I have.
So success. Who succeeded?
I had a hard success.
Okay. I'm gonna ignore your fumble because I don't really feel like pursuing a fumble roll.
it's also
at
hard
this
to
point.
fumble using a library.
No, it's not.
Oh no.
You did the wrong
No,
information.
it's not hard at all.
I read some
Um,
weird passage.
You
and,
punch a librarian
All right.
by it.
So
you know.
He knocks her over, she kicks him.
who succeeded?
You got a better success
Hard
than I did.
success.
Hard success.
Okay, so
Well,
we know libraries make you hard.
she says, what was your name?
Luther.
What's your last name?
Babson.
Are you from Innsmouth?
Yep. No, I'm not. But I've heard some stories about.
She comes very close to you.
Yeah, about.
Like about 2 inches from your face,
Uh,
and she's looking, staring into your eyes.
I kind of like lean up a bit as I go and just kind of do it. And it says, "I've heard about Ephraim stories."
Ephraim Babson. Make a charm roll.
Ooh.
She's not charming. No, really bad.
I'm going to insist. I'm sorry. I'm going to insist that you leave.
Well, miss, if I may, my friend Luther here is a member of Spiegelman and Associates. He has recently moved to town. He is trying to restore that wonderful historic home out at Fish Rock
Falcon Point.
Falcon
he's,
Point.
He's doing that, and I'm kind of like,
but
I know it.
He is but a fresh
I know
faced
who he is,
young
even
man
if he doesn't.
who. Oh,
I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm sorry. The rest of you can stay. You have to leave.
you know what, Luther? Let's go get some pie or something. How about that?
Why don't you go wait in the car?
I. Yeah.
Sorry.
Is there? Was I looking at anything at the time?
She was leading you
She
to a
was just
room,
leading me
and she was leading you all to a room, and then there's something about you caught her eye.
Can I?
Cover the gills, dude.
I don't want to push the roll because I'm not good at it.
I'm gonna call this his fumble roll. The library is.
Oh.
The one time, do I still get to mark?
Yeah, he said that stuff about where you're from,
the
and
Fishhead
Falcon, Fishhead Rock, and he just scuppered it for you.
Would it be pushing a roll if I try and say something? Because I don't want to push the roll, but I would
What do
like
you
to
want to
say.
push? Charm?
I don't want to push it.
Could you intimidate?
Are you trying to charm her?
No,
What are you trying to do?
persuade, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't want to push the roll. I want to try a new roll.
You charmed before, now do persuade.
Okay, I just want to say like, I have some indication of who I am, as you say. But I want to learn that. So if something happens, or I learn that, and I learn that it's not good, that I can change things. And that's kind of what I say. I have much less success of succeeding. That was a 98.
Can I assist in any way?
No, we're just gonna do this straight up. That was a 98,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she looks at you,
yeah.
and you can see her. There's a tear in the corner of her eye as she
Yeah.
looks at you,
Jesus.
and she says, "I'm so sorry."
Okay, and then he just
Leaves.
Luther just kind of leaves, and
There's make a sanity check.
Oh my God.
Oh fuck.
it's always me making these. Do
David,
I need
how
above or
aware-
below?
How aware is the rest
Wanna
of
get
the
luck?
group
Use
of
luck.
his
Yeah.
history?
I do.
You can't use
Not that
Oh, shit.
one.
'Cause
Now
we are-
you've got questions.
Now we're
I
fucking okay.
fail.
You lose one.
That's not so bad.
I got questions.
That's
And I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you Innsmouth lore. You can have 6 Innsmouth lore.
Cool.
Nice.
What are we
Yeah,
doing?
write that down somewhere.
It's a new
Right
skill.
here. Yeah, I got it.
You leave and you join Sasha out in the car, towards the car. Or you do you?
Is there any? What's around in general?
You're in the front hall and she's about to take you guys down a path.
Yeah.
And she'll obviously see. There's a little bell by the door, on the door. So
yeah.
If that bell doesn't go off, she's gonna come looking.
I
You could
want to
take her. You
go.
could totally take her.
I bet. I just want to go, and if there's like, I want to walk around a little bit. I think
Okay.
Luther wants to take a walk around the block.
Outside?
Could I
Okay,
signal?
great. Yeah, you see Luther leave.
Could I start the?
Stick
I
with
have.
my decisions.
Could I yell? Do you want to take a drive?
I
or-
don't listen. I keep
Oh,
walking.
okay.
All right, you find that the fog has settled into the area, and you see him go off into the fog alone.
I'm not there. You need to do something.
But the vehicle. I follow him. He's more valuable.
We can always spend another $2,000-$3,000 on a car.
So you're walking through the fog, and you can see through there's a light behind you. Is the light from the car is following you, and he's following at not a huge distance, but enough that you can see your shadow.
Oh, you're following the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just I look, try and not be subtle and know it's him.
Yeah.
Not someone dangerous, but I just keep walking.
Okay. All right. So he's going. He needed some air, and you're going to follow along in the car. All right. The two of you. So he leaves. You can hear the jingle of the bell, and Tilden says, "I'm sorry."
Can I ask? He's a friend of mine. He's done nothing but been a wonderful gentleman through some very tough situations. I'm just wondering what it is about his lineage that's so upsetting to you.
You're his friend.
I like to think so.
Well,
Well, he's my client, sort of.
he's going to need friends. So
Oh.
that's good. Anyway, anything that I can help you with, please. I assume that you're here to look at the artifact.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
we are.
That is perfect.
And she takes you down into at the end of there's a couple of rooms that were once individual chambers, individual apartments, and they've now the wall has been opened up so that they move from room to room. And at the end of the hall, there is one display case that she turns on the light as she comes in, and there's a tiara sitting on a pillow. It's got a glass case surrounding it, and it's golden.
Can I inspect it for design similar to what we saw in the museum?
It is exactly the same style as those that you've seen, but this one, you're looking at it and you have this overwhelming feeling of revulsion and almost disgust as you look at it.
Both of us.
Yeah, both of you have a visceral reaction in your guts towards it.
What is it?
She said this is one of the artifacts from Obed Marsh's journey to the South Seas. And apparently he was wearing this when he came back. And it was well known. There were pictures of him wearing this item.
And how is it that you got your hands on
It was
this?
a very lucky break for us.
Hmm.
There was a pawnbroker who got it from a drunken sailor, and then we purchased it. And they have since tried to purchase it many times, but of course it is of inestimable value.
And this was the what Floyd was so interested in.
Yes.
Did he came here repeatedly to look at this object?
No, just the once, but he was a regular attendee. Because and she gestures, and you feel that you could, ironically, unlike the Miskatonic Museum, this place you could lose yourself in for hours and hours.
Sorry, duck's looking at my toes.
Yeah.
I've asked him to do that just to creep you out. All right, so so I'd like you to make another. If you want more information from her, I'm happy to have you roll whichever skills you'd like, and for each hour you spend here, you can make a roll.
Okay. Can I use my persuade?
Yep.
To try to help get her to help. I feel
Library
like she
use,
knows this
persuade.
better.
Those are the kind of skills. Charm.
That
You've got
is
charm.
a
Yeah.
success.
I'm gonna
Were
give
they
you
59?
one up, so I'm gonna let your failures be successes, and I'll just give you one upgrade. But fumbles are always fumbles.
Okay. So charm it is then. 48 is a failure.
It's a regular success.
So it's a regular success.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do you wish to know?
I would like to know if there's any other artifacts or information about specifically not Babson, the
Marsh?
Obed.
Okay.
Obed Marsh. And
Oh,
Marsh is in
Obed's a
general.
famous figure. When he returned from the South Seas, he said to his people, because the economic times were very dark, the fisheries had dried up, and people were looking for something. And he brought with him this religion, this cult, and they formed a big part of his rise to power in Innsmouth. He was not on record, but many sources have said that he claimed that his god, the god he brought back with him, would make people wealthier than they could ever imagine. And it was then that they started finding the gold in the factories.
Okay.
And after that, the main source of Innsmouth wealth was not only fisheries but also gold.
Right. So the gold brought back has been made into new jewelry. since.
Apparently, they have a gold mine in Innsmouth. It's hard to tell where the gold comes from, but they've steadily exported gold for the last 120 years.
Interesting. Okay.
So when I say Innsmouth gold, there's two types. They're the artifacts brought back, but then they actually do.
There's some kind of supply.
Yes,
Something is producing gold.
Interesting.
but frankly, that there's something about that place that is wrong.
Is there any recent information on the marshes?
Well, they control the town,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole family is I think bad to the bone.
Do you know what Toby was investigating?
I think he was following he mentioned that he was on a case about that Olympic athlete in Arkham.
And he came here
And
to
he
look
came
at
here.
this artifact.
He said that he had followed the traces of the investigation to Arkham, or to Innsmouth, and what was her name? He had mentioned it was Esther Marsh. Of course, it was Esther Marsh, one of the Marsh family. He said that as he was leaving, he asked me many questions about her, and I, of course, only knew the barest about her.
Oh, you do not know Esther.
Oh, I know who she is.
Who is
but
she?
Esther Marsh? Oh, she's one of the Marsh family. She's one of the daughters of Old Man Marsh.
Who's Old Man Marsh?
He was the grandson of Obed,
What's his name?
Barnabas.
Does the name Ralsa Marsh
Yes.
mean anything to you?
Rolsa Marsh. He tried to buy the tiara from us, and we refused. Rolsa Marsh is Esther's brother.
He's a rich man.
He is. Well, they're all rich.
Yes.
The
obviously.
gold from Innsmouth.
Is
There's Rowley, Esther, and Rolsa Marsh. Those are the children. There may be one or more cousins, but those are the family. And then there's Barnabas, Old Man Marsh. There's one or two others that I can't remember, but that's the family. They're very powerful, and they stop at nothing to get their will.
How old is Esther?
She's in her early 30s. Maybe she might be older. Perhaps late 30s.
Party girl?
She was. There were lots of rumors about her back years ago.
Do you know any of these rumors?
Make a roll. Charm roll.
You do have to charm. Okay.
No. And in fact, I suspect, even though you didn't succeed in the role, I suspect that Tilda is not the right person. Miss
Yeah.
Tilden is not the right person
I'm just
to ask for the
information.
gossip of the town.
Mhm.
But she will tell you that all she knows is that Esther was known as being she's a flapper before flappers were a thing.
Right. And
She's always been wild, wilder than all the marshes.
can I take an hour to plumb through for some more Innsmouth
Sure you can.
knowledge?
Yep.
Like, I just feel like
I'll give you both another roll, both rolls on library use.
Go for it.
Nope.
Yes?
No. Failure.
Hard success.
Ooh, I'll give you 2. People living around Innsmouth will not marry into an Innsmouth family. Any of the families that hold their roots in the town's histories, so any of the names that you're familiar with, no one will marry into them in the surrounding areas. They fear infection by whatever disfiguring disease is it that causes the Innsmouth look. Now, is this the first time you've heard Innsmouth look? So the Innsmouth look, and this is your second piece of information, is a quality in people from Innsmouth, and it's well known, in this local area anyway, Newburyport, Innsmouth, and it's the Innsmouth people tend to have paler skin, wider eyes, and have skin problems.
Would it be, I don't know if this is a question I can ask, but would it be safe to assume that means there may be some inbreeding going on?
That's exactly what people think.
Okay.
And nobody wants to marry into those families.
Right.
Because they feel like Innsmouth used to be a town of 3,000 to 5,000 people back in the day. At various times in its history, it has been extremely populous. It was a rival to Newburyport, and it was a rival to Arkham. And now it probably is 300 to 400. It's a very small
It's
town.
only 300 to 400 people.
And if you see the map that we've had, that I've shown you of Innsmouth, I'll bring it up on the screen. It's a huge town for that many people. Annotated map for players. Here it is.
Wow.
That is a very large town, and I would suggest to you that some of the information you get is that there may be one habitable home on every in every block, perhaps 2. but much of
Right.
Innsmouth is completely waste.
And that's what Agent Trent was talking about with all the abandoned homes and the booze.
That's exactly what
Right.
he was talking about.
And the plague part of that as well?
The plague part.
Or was that?
When did you hear about the plague? Or are you just bringing it up now?
We heard about it
Yeah.
last time from Archie.
Right.
I don't know
Archie
if
mentioned that there was a plague brought back
Yeah.
with him, but yes, when the ships came back from the South Seas, they brought with them a disease, and much of the population of Innsmouth was affected.
Okay.
It was similar to the Spanish flu, but massive amounts of casualties in the town.
Weird question. I don't know if I have to do an intelligence roll for this. Now that I've heard about this Innsmouth look, can I think about my client and see if he has any of those traits?
You can make an idea roll.
Can I make an idea roll and think about Andrew and see if he has any of those traits?
You can.
That's what you meant. Right?
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you meant?
That's it.
Yeah.
I thought you
my
meant
Yeah, I
him.
know.
Who are you making the roll from?
Andrew?
Oh,
Or
Did you succeed?
I did succeed,
All right.
but now I don't know where to put it.
And you succeeded, or did
I
you
haven't rolled
roll?
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking.
this is idea, right?
Mhm.
So what do you?
Yeah, I guess.
Sorry.
So it's
What am I
it's your
rolling
intelligence. Basically, you're
Yeah, it's
rolling
your
your
intelligence.
intelligence, wherever it be.
80, so it's under, yeah. Okay.
Or it's a hard
All right.
success.
Success, yeah.
You're like, oh, that's interesting, because Andrew doesn't look like that.
Okay.
He looks like he's got traditional sort of New England features. He
Good
looks
looks, yeah.
like, yeah, he's, it's funny that there's a sensuality to the Innsmouth look. So it's not ugly, especially when people are young. There's a sort of they have like wide lips and big eyes, and it's kind of attractive.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't fit that mold. He's got almost an Ohio look about him. Other than his gift at swimming and his last name Fisher,
No skin.
he doesn't seem to have skin problems or whatever.
Okay. How about Luther?
Unfortunately, with Luther, there's something about that. There's something you notice sometimes when Luther is engaged with something, he doesn't blink very often, and he wouldn't be aware of it necessarily, but he doesn't blink.
Oh my
That's a
God.
character trait.
Yeah.
Uh,
Very moist eyes.
That don't blink.
Yeah.
Rare blink.
Now, Luther, flash to you walking through the fog. This is there are things now like that you've had that experience with
Yeah.
grandfather. You saw the other jewelry. You had that experience with Tilda, and there's something about this place. There's something that you're finding out about yourself, and you're starting to get it. Last night you dreamt that you were swimming, and at the time you woke up feeling happy and refreshed, because whenever you dream of swimming, it's a beautiful thing. But there's something now that is frightening you about it. All right, so
yeah.
so Tilda, Miss Tilden, gives you as much information as she can. She stays. It's almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And she does bring you some tea at some point.
Oh, thank
The you feel like if you could ask of her anything, she would give it to you. She seems like an ally. Her reasoning for not letting your friend in, you're getting a feeling for why that might be. Anybody with the last name of Babson, Marsh, Waite, these are suspect people as far as she's concerned. And after researching in the library, in the records of Newburyport, you start to piece it together and you understand why. These are all the families that were loyal to the Marshes, and the other families fled. And so the main families of Innsmouth, all of the streets are labeled. There's a Babson Street in Innsmouth. The streets are named for these families too, and there's just a lack of trust.
I'm not there, so I can't.
You can't ask any questions.
Yeah.
All right. At some point, you've walked through Newburyport, and it doesn't take you long to do that. And you can hear the trundling of the motor as Sasha, like, it's kind of a.
Yeah.
You don't know him that well, but it is a chivalric
Yeah.
gesture for him to be riding with you.
Yeah.
What do you do?
just wandering around town? Did we like kind of get back?
Just wandered around. You can be back if you want. You're leading the way.
Yeah.
Did you move in a circle or did you move in a?
I think I
Did you
was
just go.
planning on. Is there like a park nearby?
Yeah.
I don't know how long they're gonna be. I go sit in a park for a second.
All right. He sits down on a park bench.
Can Sasha see
And
him
there's
from
a
the
gas
car?
light that sheds light through the fog, and you just see a lonely figure sitting on a bench.
Sasha shuts off the car and keeps an eye on the lonely figure on the bench
Alright.
from the vehicle.
And so you just sit in the silence
Yeah. I'm just sort of picking up rocks and.
and throwing the. There's, you think about that moment that you had with your grandfather, and there's something that you feel like you've been forever changed or marked by that.
Can I make like an idea roll for something where like how deliberate, just because of what she said about like implies like something's gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
So can I make an idea roll if I think, or like a Cthulhu mythos roll, like
Cthulhu mythos.
Yeah.
Absolutely make that roll.
and being like, is that something that just happens, or would I have to make that kind of thing happen? So I did not get anywhere close.
You don't know even where to begin to look for those answers.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be your journey.
Yeah. Wish I got a 1 and then I could just not do it.
Well, unfortunately,
Yeah, that's
you were
okay.
the hero of the inheritance, right? Congratulations, you've inherited something.
Quite the legacy.
And then I guess.
And you have the ability to buy cars like that, so you should be happy, right?
Yeah. I guess like after a few minutes, like after I've had to think about that, I just kind of I go over to the car and I sort of get it and I say, I guess we should go back.
Yeah. Can I... Do you like scones?
It's, I know, sure.
I give him a scone that I had in my handkerchief.
Louise makes a
I-
mean scone.
I like
This has blueberries in it. It's really
I
good.
start eating it to be polite, and then I start to be like, really good. So like I'm trying to not just like eat it, like shove it all in my face, but I'm like still trying to be like moody.
The scone is really, really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and it does help. And Louise is always so helpful. And so the four of you come back. Ms. Tilden locks the door behind you, and the two of them drive up, and the car, thank goodness, is moving.
Yeah.
And then stops, and the two of you leave with some more information. Now, I'm going to give you 2d4 plus d3 Innsmouth lore, both of you, for that.
Could Sasha make a spot hidden to see if there's anyone around us right now as we're all back at the car? That's why we don't do that. Success.
All right, you've been
So
watchful, and
just
nobody
what?
seems to have been following you.
Okay.
2d4 and a d3, right?
Yeah.
Can I
That's so
do
funny.
this?
You're rolling for me.
What do I got there?
Holy shit.
7.
Whoa! You got a,
Oh,
you got
wow.
a fucking 13.
4,
Yeah.
5,
That's,
plus.
so I just got 3, 6. Oh no, it'd be 10. It's 2d4 and it's a d3,
Yes,
right? So
yeah.
it's half. So it's
Oh,
like that'd be
10.
3.
10 points in
Yeah,
Innsmouth
that'd
lore.
be.
That's great.
Wow.
That's pretty fucking good.
All right.
1, 4,
5.
5. That's half. So.
We'll round up always, yeah. Good.
Oh, okay.
Or no, round down. Yeah.
So 4.
Okay.
Oh.
But half of 1. No, you still get base 1.
Okay, so
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, so 5. All right. So the four of you gather in the car. Where are you going?
What time is it?
It is around 9 o'clock at night on a foggy New England evening.
Oh jeez. All right. How about we go to your place? It's closer. I mean, we'd have to go through creepy Mc.
How long of a drive is that? If we go around Innsmouth, how long of a
Go
drive?
back to Arkham.
It's an hour and a half to go around Innsmouth.
That's not too 10:30.
Yeah. Let's go back.
We're
Louise will
going
make
to-
us some more scones tomorrow morning, and then.
Oh, go back to
my
Arkham.
house,
Your
or we go
place?
back to
I
Arkham?
thought we were going to Falcon
Oh, we
Point.
can go to Falcon Point,
Yeah.
wherever. I want to just hang out with Louise more for some
Yeah.
reason. I feel like I'm not gonna have many more chances.
Okay, at this point, let's
Sorry.
let's take a 5-minute break. Okay.
Do you guys tell us stuff?
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
let's
yes,
assume like
yeah,
full sharing
yes.
of information.
I don't tell him. I don't tell them that he was having a moment up there.
All right, we're back.
All right.
So here we are, and it's part 2. You have learned much from Newburyport, and you're heading back to Arkham, or are you going to the Babson Estate?
Babson Estate.
We're going to head to Babson Estate.
Yeah.
No, let's send it out. Say.
All right. As you're rumbling down the haunted roads of New England at night in the fog and the mist, share with us your character, what you look like, and what your thoughts are. Who's driving? You're driving.
Yeah.
What?
I think you're still driving.
You think I'm still? Oh, I'm not
I'll-
stressed out,
I
right?
can drive.
No. You don't have to make a driving roll if you're competent as a driver.
All right, sure.
So share with us what you're thinking. You're driving. What you look like and what you're thinking.
Sasha is he's holding the wheel. He's like 10 and 2, both hands on the wheel. 'Cause he doesn't really know what he's doing with his car because he hasn't practiced a lot from where he's from, and he's very focused, just kind of looking ahead on the road, like understanding where he's going. But then he's thinking about, because he has never been exposed to like any of this stuff. He doesn't know. He has no idea why you were out in the dark. He doesn't know, like, there's a man in a coma that he saw. He's just like, there's all this crime, and I don't think he's quite put together that this is like, he's trying to figure out what's the roof of everything that's going on right now. What's on top of all of this weird shit that's happening.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Luther is he's just kind of like looking out the window, and he can see a reflection of his face, which looks
Oh no.
tying it in through action. It looks through. He's blonde. He's got like clearly broken nose from his boxing days when his eyes doesn't open all the way, and apparently his eyes are like a little big and maybe a little wider mouth. Now he's just actually, that's what he's doing. He's sort of just kind of like looking at his own face.
If there's something that happened in the ring that you can remember, is people would often remark about your stare. The fact that you would stare people down,
Right.
and you wouldn't blink when other people would blink, and there was a sort of ferocity to that.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to question it.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeb Spiegelman, he is wearing his suit that is one size too big. He is twitchy as always. He has been, it's been a rough couple days for old Jeb. He preferred being sort of on the good side of criminals, not on the bad side. And Jeb's gonna lean over and Jeb's gonna lean over to Luther and just sort of give him a little pep talk.
What do you say?
Listen, Luther, don't let these small town, fishing people, these small town fucks tell you who you gotta be, because this is America, and I know they haven't caught up with it yet, but you can be whatever you want here. You don't have to listen to some weird old lady who tells you that your family did something wrong, and that's you. You can live your own life.
Just 'cause Jeb. It's okay.
Okay, if you say so. I mean, none of this feels okay. It's all smells not great. Feel like we're heading into something kind of weird here.
Jeb.
Something really fishy about it.
Yeah.
I avoided saying it just because I couldn't.
Okay, good.
Jeb,
Let's
you-
move on.
Slapped me on the shoulder. That's really bad. Anyway. He's just like, Luther's just like, Jeb, just give me a second.
Of course, just you're a good person. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
And the constable.
Astrid, she's in her police uniform as always. She's gonna take her cigarette case out of her coat and light a cigarette in the car without asking.
Yeah.
And she's going over and over in her head, trying to remember the details of the rape that she was called on to investigate, of Ralsa, that was the person who was accused of rape. But she keeps getting distracted by the shadows of branches overhead as we drive.
You you remember a detail about that. Well, you know the victim, what her name was. And her name was Emma Slocum. And she was, her family lives in Innsmouth, but she was in Arkham on some kind of shopping trip. And she claimed, or at the time, she was discovered with having been assaulted. She had no clothing and was found in an alley, barely conscious.
She's stabbed.
No, she was. Her clothes were ripped off of her, and she was not. She was bruised, but not stabbed. And when you think about that case, it wasn't you that was the primary investigator, but you remember talking about the investigators. The boys were joking about the fact that they thought she was probably going to get pregnant.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Do I?
Do you know what happened? I mean, is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah. I was also going to ask, do I know where she lives now?
She moved back home to be with her family, so.
In Innsmouth.
In Innsmouth.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if she ever got pregnant, had a baby.
You didn't share any of that with the party yet? Or do you share it with the party? About your information about Rolsa?
I think I shared. I don't know if I shared it with you.
Well, like, I mean, you talked about your theory, but that was like out of character
That was like,
after
oh,
the
so
session.
yeah.
So like,
I mean, it's a long drive through New England, so it's easy to share
Yeah.
right now what you think and feel. If you guys want to share things, now's the time to do it.
I definitely tell him the Robert Waite thing when you mentioned his name, the Waite, like Babson's, Waits, and Marshes. I definitely say like that hitchhiker was Robert Waite.
Gilman's.
Gilman's.
Sorry?
Gilman's and Elliott's, unfortunately, for you.
Hmm?
Elliott's and Gilman's are both strong Innsmouth names as well.
Shit.
Whoopsie.
Are you sharing that information with
I'm
the...
telling you they were mentioned
Okay.
in the history of the town. You'll find lots of Elliott's and Gilman's.
Did not know that. Okay, cool. Then I will share that information about Rolsa being a accused
Are
rapist.
you mentioning the name of the victim?
No.
I knew I remembered that name. Sorry.
But you don't know the name because you didn't mention the name of the victim.
I can't.
No, it's
y'all.
okay.
I
That's
That's
can't.
alright. No, that's fine. It makes it more interesting.
You can ask.
Let's say the last name of every last name we know, just out of it.
No. Oh, you know what I would do? I would, because she has the same name as Andrew Fisher's mother, Emma.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same name, so I would probably say it.
Make a luck roll.
Okay.
Sorry, she has the same name as
I'm
the
going to
mother?
solve this with
Yeah.
a luck roll.
She has
The same first name.
Same first name.
Emma.
I don't.
It's
What's
your
my luck?
It's the same as your power.
92. Absolutely not.
No, you failed. You're very unlucky. So the name is not shared, and you do not have that information unless you can find a way to metagame the fact that you guys share it. But otherwise,
I can.
This road is really coming slow up the...
No. I
Your
have
English has
something.
gotten better.
I have something later that will trigger it.
all right.
It's fine.
And
It's fine.
at any rate, you share what information you have, and all of you are feeling like this is definitely leading somewhere. By the way, how much longer do we have tonight? Do we have an hour and a half left?
Yeah, I think about.
Yeah, hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
This might go to 3 sessions.
Oh boy.
Interesting.
Well, I think
One
we're
of
heading
us-
up to Innsmouth after we sleep. So.
All right. So you hit the Babson house, and you go up the gravel track, and you see for the first time, some of you, this mansion that's being reconstructed. The lights are on, or some
Whoa.
lights are inside. What's the name? Sanford, right?
Sanford, yeah.
Sanford is Luther's security, and he greets you at your door. Describe yourself.
Sanford?
Yeah.
Oh
Oh shit!
Yeah. So Sanford is he's sort of diminutive. Like he's about average height, pretty skinny, but you can tell he's pretty fit. He's in his 40s, but he's kind of like Tom Cruise, and that doesn't age very much kind of way. So he's kind of still got like some boyish good looks, and he could probably turn on the charm if he wasn't so dour all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's got.
And so Babson, your other character,
Yeah.
is not really talkative. He's just going to go in and go to bed.
Yeah, that's fair.
So play Sanford.
Convenient.
I like Sanford.
Yeah.
So Sanford is of course smoking.
And you could see these guys drive up to and you're holding in your hands a letter that came today from a bookseller.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, Luther for some reason trusts you implicitly
Yeah.
and allow you to. He said
We've
basically,
become friends.
yeah, open the mail and give me anything that's important. And so you are holding a letter from a bookseller in Arkham, and that.
Yeah.
But yet Babson doesn't seem that interested. But, I mean, he seems like has his own thoughts and that he's going through some sort of thing. Anyway, what would you like to do?
As Sanford?
Yeah.
Uh,
Abner Wick is the man
Abner Wick.
that sent the letter.
So I think he sort of like hands off the letter to Luther.
Yeah. And Luther doesn't even seem like he's paying attention because he's in his own world.
Yeah.
And Jeb is right behind him.
Yeah, Luther's had a rough day. I'm his attorney and friend. I can help
It
him
was
with
like
anything
we've
you
met.
need. What?
We've met.
Oh right, yeah. You do the tiles.
Well, it's dark, and you just realize that you guys have.
Make a spot hidden roll.
Right, of course. We met previously. I actually had something very specific I wanted to talk to you about. Can we just take a little step over here for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that safe we have downstairs?
Mm.
Okay, I need you to keep a really good eye on that safe. Any work people go down there, anyone touches that thing.
Oh, no one goes near that safe.
You see, this is why it was a good hire. You're a good hire. I knew that when I looked at you. All right, wonderful. I just wanted to give you the heads up about that. Great. Also, anyone wearing green that comes around here, you watch out for that.
Wearing green?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh,
So you've got this letter.
yes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'll take the letter.
Yeah.
Sort of as the.
It's
attorney.
from a bookseller in Arkham named Abner Wick.
Right.
And what he says is, Mr. Babson has come to my attention that you are the inheritor of the Ephraim Babson estate, and that there were a number of volumes of extremely, if not valuable, at least interesting historical books in your grandfather's collection, and I would be most interested in purchasing said volumes from you at your earliest convenience. I am prepared to spend, to pay above what I would consider the market value for them because of their sentimental value.
Rip it up.
I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm not gonna share it with anybody.
Yeah, you got it.
And maybe later we'll have a little.
Well, there's worlds and worlds. I mean, this is
Yeah.
as we play, eventually things will come together. But
I like this actually.
What was it?
Is Abner Wick a character?
he's new.
Really?
You don't know him.
Wasn't
yet.
there a
Oh no, sorry. I thought
Wick?
that someone. I was like, is this is someone
This is
playing
like
something?
someone playing.
So crazy.
No.
No, okay. Abner Wick is a book collector who asked for that. Okay. Yeah, I'm holding that very close to the chest.
It's
and
yeah.
talking
I
to
mean,
Luther
it's
about it.
it's pretty specific. He seems to know exactly.
Yeah,
what's
I
there.
might have a little chat with him to see what it is he's. That'll
All
be
right.
later though. Yeah.
All right. So otherwise, you guys bed down for the night at the Babson mansion. It's creepy. This mansion. He's done his best to turn it into some sort of modern-looking place, but there was water damage. There's the smell of mildew in the place. Over a dozen people died in the basement.
Can Sasha sleep with the shotgun?
Yes.
I
I would consider that wise. And occasionally there's squeaks, and that as you go up to bed, carrying a candle because the electric light's not all there yet, there's a squeak in the steps that you can hear anybody going to bed or going to the water closet or anything All that stuff has been fixed. It's a mansion, though. It's quite beautiful. But there's something that's very old and very haunted about this place. Like, it's seen too many things. At the top of the house is a widow's walk, where you can go up and you can see a clear view, as clear as it can get to on a foggy night like this, into the Atlantic Ocean. And in the morning, you can see Fishhead Rock, plain as day, to the left and down, a famous landmark that the American Indians used to celebrate and worship in the early days of the settlements here. Anyway, so the evening passes without incident.
God, I hate this place.
The Babson Estate.
I hate this place so much.
Look at my face.
God, I should have stayed in my office.
Should have never taken this client.
At least you can trust that if anybody was going to put water in your engine, you'd know about it, because you've got somebody on guard, and it's a lot to get down that road.
Yeah.
The workers arrive in the morning and they start on their work. They're pounding away at things, so you're awoken to the sound of hammers and nails and moving and shouts and curses and grunts and all that good stuff. Some of the house is being rebuilt completely because of the water damage, and the rest is being restored. Your friend is very wealthy, and so there are a lot of people who have been staying with the local fisher folk that are actually architects and engineers and everybody that you can possibly afford that's working on the place. In particular, you're proud of what you've done to the cave system at the bottom. It goes right out into the ocean on a high tide, and then comes in. You've got it set up that nobody comes in or out unless you wish it, and you've got a number of rooms there that are protected.
Yeah.
And a safe, which is really well secured.
Yeah.
In the morning, your cook, makes a lovely meal for all of you, and in the bright kitchen, the brand new renovated kitchen, the four of you sit, and it's 10 o'clock, and things seem. It's a bright, beautiful. I think it's like Thursday morning now. It's a bright, beautiful Thursday morning, and you're ready to tackle whatever it is that you need.
Could I just say that part of Sasha's morning was making about a half dozen scones with the recipe that Louise gave
Oh
me.
yeah. Well, you can give it to the cook.
Oh, great. Could I make it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the cook's gonna be upset, so you better.
I'll give it to the
make
cook
Make a charm roll.
Make a charm roll against the cook.
Have you not watched Downton Abbey?
All right, fine.
I've
I'll
been watching it for the last couple of weeks.
Okay,
I love
can I
it.
make can I make an intimidate roll? Like if they're like.
You're gonna intimidate the
You're gonna
cook?
intimidate my
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna
What's
charm.
wrong with you?
I know,
You're
it doesn't
guest
work.
in this house.
You don't charm her, but she does what you ask and makes the recipe, and they're good scones. If you really want to get in there, you can, but she's gonna spit in your food. Anyway, so but yeah, they're not Louise's scones, but they're really good. And you have a meal. What are you going to do today?
Okay, well, Jeb is still in his suit. Has not removed it throughout the night. His hair is a bit like. I don't sleep well in this house. Anyways, so what's our plan here? Should we go down to this Innsmouth, take a maybe chat with these marshes?
I think we should. Yeah.
Ring, 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 ring.
What is that?
What is that noise?
You have a telephone.
Yeah. Luther just doesn't say anything. He just gets up as he's been like poking at his food, not blinking, and then he gets up and like
with his big wide
where's the
lips.
phone? Would someone bring it to me?
You don't know where the phone is. You can just hear it.
I don't know where it is.
No, you've never used it before. It was just installed like 2 weeks ago.
I don't know what to do.
So
Look for the phone.
The cook motions to where the phone's.
Okay, yeah. I just sort of, and I go and I get the phone.
You know, and it's one
Yeah.
of those ones, right? Hello. Is this the Babson estate?
Yes.
It's Louise.
Louise, how are you?
What is Louise?
I'm,
What?
I'm fine, but is Mr. Spiegelman there?
Yeah, Jeb is here. Jeb,
What? Yeah.
it's Louise.
Are you
Oh,
sure she doesn't
okay.
have one
And
to
as
talk
he's
to me?
walking over, I'm like, oh, by the way, my cook made some of your scones. It's really good.
Tell her I say
doesn't-
hello.
She doesn't really answer.
Tell her I say hello.
I take the phone. Hello, Louise, darling. How are you?
Things are not good. Something's happened.
What happened?
I just got a. We just heard from Andrew's aunts,
What?
Oh,
Can't hear this.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Shit.
and
Enjoyed
and,
your scone.
and something's happened. He disappeared this morning.
He disappeared. Who told you this?
His aunts.
His aunts, right? Okay.
Who disappeared?
Andrew.
Do they have a telephone number?
Okay, can everyone just... No, of course they have a telephone number, buddy.
They found her.
They
They do have a telephone number.
He was supposed to be here for. He was supposed to be at their place for breakfast, and then he didn't show up.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll come by right away and try to fix that. Thank you so much, Louise. How are you?
I'm fine.
Tell her I
Okay.
say hello.
No, wonderful. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll come right by. Thank you so much for letting us know. I swear to God, the weird-looking Russian man says hi,
Sasha.
and that your scones are wonderful because of course they are.
He's very sweet.
Yeah.
But this is terrible. They said that he was seen being put into a car.
Into a car. Okay.
What kind of car?
What other information did they give you, darling?
They said that there was a bunch of that he was jogging in the morning and some students saw that he was forced into a car, and then the car drove away.
Did they tell you, are the police involved in this at this point? Or?
Yes, the police are involved.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about it, but nobody knows what happened.
You didn't happen to hear the...
It's not in the news yet, but it will be.
You didn't hear the make of the car?
They just said it was a black car.
Okay, you just got shoved into the back of a black car. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much, Louise. Is there anything else they told you? Anything at all that would help us?
I'm sorry. That's all they told me, and I think they're at the police station right now.
Okay, well, we'll head down there and chat with them. You stay safe though. Okay, it seems
I'm
like
fine.
a
Why are
dangerous
you worrying so much?
time. You know, I worry about you, Louise.
Ah!
But don't
Ah!
worry. Oh,
She
what?
says-
What happened?
Oh, nothing. It's just I think that things are burning. I should go, but I'll be right back.
Okay, thank you, Louise. Sorry, one more thing. Did you get a call from a girl?
Ghoul.
A girl from Miskatonic University at any point in the past few days? Very shy, nice girl. I asked her to call us if we heard anything about these certain individuals stalking around campus.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll
Okay,
be
no
right
problem. Bye.
back.
You heard this half of that conversation.
What did
What
you
the
say?
hell?
Jesus.
You
let a
share
guy-
the information with everybody.
Let a guy finish his coffee first. Yeah, let's go.
Exactly before I had my
Police
morning
station?
show.
Back to Arkham.
Should we? If we go all the way back to Arkham, it is a big waste of time if we must go to Innsmouth. They have phone number. Could we phone them and see if they might be necessary there?
Oh, right. We could do a phone.
We could phone them and save
And I
ourselves
have
a
their number.
drive.
And you are a police officer.
Yeah, great. Then
Get on the
I will
phone.
phone them.
All right. So you have to go through a few hoops because the acting officer on duty is talking to them. He's not taking it seriously because the kid has been missing for 2 hours, and this idea that he was forced into a car, he doesn't really believe it. He thinks he's just partying, and the aunts are worried, and he's thinking that they're just having hysteria. They're hysterical. They're hysterical, and and they were really quick with it. He was supposed to be there for 8, and he wasn't. And they drove right over there and started asking, and this is the story they got. And then they went right to the police officers or the police station after making a call to Louise at your office, who was in at 9. So things are moving quickly over there. Now, so you talk to them. What do you want? I mean, they're both very upset. What do you want? What do you want to ask them?
Okay. I want to ask them if they think they think he's in danger. They think he's
Absolutely.
been
He's been
abducted.
Kidnapped.
Did you see what did the students tell you?
Okay. The students said that there was a car and it was full of people, and that one of the things that they noted that it was full of people, and it was strange to have somebody else join them because it was so crowded. But he didn't seem to know the people, and he was and he fought against them, and then he was pulled in, and then one of the people was really large, they said, and just basically threw him in there. There were 2 women
There were 2
and
women.
3 men. And one of the men was really large.
Okay.
Have you guys told Sasha and Elliot about those 3 Innsmouth police?
When did I bring them up? With the feds?
You brought them up.
Yeah,
I
the
think.
feds.
Oh,
I
so
think-
maybe
I think
we-
when I brought them up to the feds, like, if you share that, then I'll be like, big guy might be.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I also have a thought.
Do they know? And you guys can contribute. any questions you think
What
we should
were
ask
the names of the students?
that saw it?
The,
What were the names of students that saw?
Oh, it was Bruce and Martha Finnegan, brother and sister, and they both were taking the same courses in archaeology. She's in 4th year and he's in 2nd.
Did they notice what direction the car was going? Fuck.
North.
That's yeah.
Towards it.
towards Innsmouth.
Right, of course.
Has there been any activity in the account at all in the last couple of days?
That's a question you have to ask the bank.
Damn it. Right. They don't have online banking. I was like, check your phone, girl. Come on.
Oh, I almost brought up the rape kit for Ralston. I was like, oh, yeah, that wouldn't
No.
exist.
Yeah, rape kit's like, now drop your drawers, honey.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, bad joke. Not funny, not funny.
All right.
Horrible.
It's okay. We're going to edit that. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Sorry.
Anyway.
we can't call the bank guy though. If we need to.
I love having a phone.
Roll
know.
for telephone use.
I have a. Are
It's
we,
funny. This is the only time ever I played Call of Cthulhu where you had a phone.
Yes, literally.
It's so
the
weird.
call
It's like, oh, we can
of
just phone people.
It's amazing.
I mean, they have to have phones, but also,
Damn it.
It helps to
Are
have a
we-
90 credit rating sometimes.
are we still talking to the cops at this point? I have a theory.
I was talking to
Talk
the
to the-
sisters.
The
Talking to the
sisters,
sisters,
the answer.
it took her an hour to get through to the sisters
Fuck.
who were there speaking. So it's now 11
We're
o'clock.
burning daylight here. So I do have a theory. These people that have been following us around, these people in this clown car who broke my baby. They had a thing with fish and salt water, and I don't know where you're gonna get fish and salt water in Arkham. And also, I get this creepy feeling that this has something to do with the marshes. Now, David, how many people own cars in Arkham? In Innsmouth.
I can't answer that for you.
Like, okay,
This is
fine.
doing like a.
But I mean, you
Fermi
said there's
problem.
only like 400 people in Innsmouth, right? So I mean,
You've
like,
never been there. How would you know?
Okay. But I guess I'm saying for the time period, not a lot of people own cars. So if there's 400 people
Wealthy
in town,
people own cars,
wealthy
and middle
people own
class
cars.
people are in major metropolises are owning cars.
And depending on where the person bought the car, like
Yeah.
they could have bought it in.
You can
Arkham.
pretty much assume that the Marshes own cars because they have these gold refineries and they're rich. They're 90% credit rating. They're as rich as he is. People from Innsmouth are rich. Congrats.
Rich. Okay. Well, I think. That we
There
should
was
go
some
cruising.
hostility and some. Even when you were driving, it was like the people of Falcon Point only know rich people.
Right. Sort
Like
of
the-
the rich people that
Nobody
own
wants
Innsmouth
to-
are constantly coming
Yeah.
through with their cars. Right. Yeah, I think our best lead is we just got to go in there
Yeah,
and
we
start
gotta-
looking for this
Yeah.
car and start
Get to
looking for these
Innsmouth.
guys and.
Okay, I'm gonna thank the ants and assure them that we are right on it. We're gonna find Andrew.
Find Andrew, please.
We will. We will.
Tell them I say hello.
Sasha says hello.
What?
Don't worry about it.
They're friends.
They know, son. That we're all friends.
Oh, I thought you said tell him I say hello. And
Tell Andrew I say hello.
we don't know where he is.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Tell them the Lannisters said they're in cars.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, what
the
do you want to do?
marshes and the regards.
So time is ticking.
Okay, game time here. So, for you two, I don't know how much weirdness you have encountered in your lives, but this is starting to seem kind of weird. So there might be some really weird, dangerous stuff that happens. If anyone does not want to go through it, then you should probably leave now. Officer, I don't know how you...
I have shotgun from old woman. I believe I will be ready for anything.
I like your spirit.
I'm a better shot than you, Jeb.
That's true. I don't... I mean,
So
well,
let's go.
we have to put that to the test, obviously. But okay, let's go do this thing, and nobody die.
Why would we be in danger of death?
Because there's people on...
Luther gives that exact.
Alright, come on.
He does
let's
he
go,
does
let's
an
go,
office like
Just the camera zoom in.
All right, just 1 second. I'll make a little change. Okay. All right. So here we go. You are heading to finally. You're heading to Innsmouth.
Oh my god.
Great, so this is a police matter, so I can't take my car, yeah?
Yeah, but you'd have to go back to Arkham.
Fuck that. How many cars do you have?
We're
We can
for
all-
one
we can
car.
all-
I wait in the
That's fine.
road.
He's got.
Would it be
Make
It's
a luck,
like Grand Theft Auto, but I'm paying.
make a luck roll.
Oh my god, I have really good luck.
A black Ford.
I
Hey,
that's a hard
Kitty.
success.
You have 2 cars.
Yes, I have 2
Great.
cars.
Just in case.
Yeah.
All right.
One is a black. The one that you got from.
One's a
Amanda's
black
character.
Model T Ford, and
It
the other's
was.
a black Model T Ford.
and this is a blue Model T Ford.
Whoa!
Yeah, they're new.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And that's the one you let Stanford use. But you can take it yourself.
Yeah.
Sasha marvels at the blue vehicle.
I
Yeah,
also
it's
I also
fancy.
tell Sanford to like keep an eye on Robert Waite if he's around.
Yeah, he's been helping. He's been helping around here.
You know, you sound different.
Oh, I sound like you always do.
That's true. I think they've also bonded because like they both let slip that like they've seen some shit.
They've seen some shit. They've told each other
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. So they both like believe each other. So they
And they're both played by you, so they
Yeah,
told each other
yeah. They know literally
They
everything.
trust you.
He just sort of explains like Wait might not be trustworthy. Keep an
Okay,
eye.
I'll keep an eye on Wade.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys zoom out of the. You're only like what, 15 minutes from
Yeah,
Innsmouth?
we're really close.
Yeah.
Oh, right, we're fucking
Yeah, we're
close.
like right there.
We just walk.
I'll show you guys Innsmouth environs. You guys are here,
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Cliffs and
like
sandwich.
literally right there,
Yeah.
and that's Innsmouth.
Oh, it's Marshy Creek. I thought it was Marsh's Creek, and I was like,
Marshy Creek Marsh.
And then we have
Yeah.
Innsmouth.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So
We're on
we
Main
have,
Street.
let's see, we have the gas
Oh,
station.
there's a street called Marsh Street. Fifth
Shoot.
Street.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So as we are driving there, this is something I did want to bring up.
All right.
So once you're yeah.
So you're heading to Innsmouth. You're thinking, okay, we're heading there. Where are we going? What are we gonna do? And now's the time to address that. I have a picture to show you.
ooh.
Oh, that's spooky.
Oh,
Is that
This
us
is-
in our little?
This is
we're
Innsmouth.
Scooby-Doo.
This is Innsmouth as you're approaching from one angle. And it's even though as I've described it, it's beautiful weather. Almost as soon as you leave the Babson home, it turns dark and moody and looks like this. And it's only 11 o'clock, 11:30. You're heading at a reasonable time. The clouds are low, and you're assuming that things are going to get foggy and rainy pretty soon. What's your theory?
So Luther, if you remember, we talked to that charming Fisher guy and his wife, and they mentioned that there's a good guy we can talk to at Slocum's Gas.
Slocum?
Right.
Yeah.
That name is really familiar. The girl that I told you about, her name was Emma Slocum.
Well, okay, so I think it's definitely worth us going down to Slocum's Gas on the way, because they also probably see a lot of cars, and if
Good
this
point.
car's gone through there recently, maybe they've seen something.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And in fact, Slocum is
For that. Deserve a trophy.
He's got a Slocum's gas.
All right, that was
so
good. That was good.
the gas station is pretty much the route as you're coming into
Fuck.
town. If you take the coastal route,
Yeah.
you can't but hit the gas station,
Jesus.
or at least drive to it.
I have a question for you, and I'm not sure if this is an idea roll or what.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about like going into this town in like a Arkham police officer
Oh,
outfit
okay.
that people might not be receptive to me.
I would suggest. I mean, that's your own choice. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I think your instincts are good, so you can find a change of clothes at the Babson estate if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he has do you have like any sisters?
No, they're dead. I'm just kidding.
So they're not using
them.
the
They are though.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any dresses?
You do not.
I don't.
But you could probably fit
Get
into
one.
a pair of pants and a shirt.
Yeah,
That
sure.
he's got.
That's fine.
Really? I'm a foot taller than her.
We cut off the bottoms of them and put a
It's
belt
fine.
on.
I'll just roll them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You could
coffee.
wear the
I can wear the pants.
you could wear the skirt. This is like a long dress, the skirt for the cop, right? Because you wouldn't have the pants, and then you could just wear a different blouse and a top, and then you might be able to fit in a scarf.
Sure.
So you're in a bit of a disguise.
Would Sasha?
I'm still gonna keep my badge.
Would anything
But
with the
it's fine.
university have a like? Because I'm assuming I'm in like a student's.
You're just in a suit,
Okay,
like
so that's
anybody would be at the time.
Okay, cool.
You're all smelling a bit because you didn't really. You're wearing the same clothes as you had last time. You can offer people some clothes, but you don't have
Yeah.
a wardrobe there of women's clothing and whatnot. And anything that you do had, I think there was one room that you remember that it was just all clothes
Oh.
piled in and moldy,
Yeah.
but that was all ruined. So anyway, so you drive towards Innsmouth. You crest the hill and you see it laid out like a swamp below you. Your first close-up view of Innsmouth. The impression it gives you, it's repulsive. It's detestable. There's something about it. It stinks, and all of the buildings are in disrepair. The people, those that you can see shuffle along the streets, you believe it when they said that there were only 300 to 400 people. This place has a miasma of decay and degeneracy about it. There's hardly, especially from the south that you're approaching, the slums, this house after house, it's hard to convey, especially in the 21st century, what it's like to have these homes an utter and complete ruin when a home is so valuable to us today, but at the time, families moved out, they left their stuff, they didn't come back. We have rats, we have mold, we have water damage. Every place looks like a haunted house. And it starts off with a few on the outskirts of town, overgrown weeds and grass and swampland, and it gets worse the closer you get to town as the buildings become more frequent and the atmosphere of overwhelming despair reaches you. You hit, right here as we head into town, you're on Main Street.
Oh boy.
And
there's Marsh Street Fish.
that's Main Street. We got Fish Street, we have Marsh Street, we have Main Street, and you're heading towards the gas station, and it's at the end of town. Oops, it says possible allies. Don't look at that. And you turn left on the first of the six corners, and you see a gas station ahead of you. There's a man outside, and he's polishing an older model car. It's only 8 years old. It's not that old, but still. He's got no mustache, but he's got a beard, so he sort of looks like an Amish guy. He's in a gray suit, and his hair is quite long for this era, and he's polishing some of the windshield of the car, and you can see the pumps there as well. And put, you pull up in front of the gas station.
Hello? Bernard?
He looks up at you. He looks up at you. He's an older guy. He's about 60. And he says, Who are you? I never met you. I've never met you before. Who are you?
Oh,
How do you know my name?
me and my friend Luther here are actually good friends of Abigail and Robert Waite. They recommended if we were ever in Innsmouth, we should come by, that you are an upstanding gentleman. And we are actually here with a bit of a purpose in mind. So we just wanted, I wanted to say hello at the very least for
He
Robert
looks
and
around.
Abigail.
Well, we need some gas.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, sure.
And he goes over and he starts filling the tank. And
You're
he's
not-
just standing there.
I am a huge car fan. You see this Black Model T we have here?
Yes.
It's a nice machine, right? Well, it's my friend's machine. My car's in the shop for other reasons. But have you
Fast talk, persuade, charm. What do you use?
persuade?
Okay.
I'm gonna try to use persuade.
Go ahead.
I bet a man like you would have a pretty good idea of. I saw this wonderful black Ford with a bunch of people in it, like a clown car, come through here not too long ago, and I bet they came through here. It must have been bizarre. I think that.
Roll.
Come on, Jeb.
Come on, Jeff.
45.
45.
Yes, that is a regular success.
Yeah, I saw him.
You did. When?
Came in a couple hours ago.
You don't say. This is a pretty small town. Do you know the owners of a fine car like that?
He says, I don't, I'm gonna go inside, and you can come in if you want. And he takes the gas is done, and he just moves inside into the building. It's a small. There's a window in the front, not a huge window, but a window that you can see a counter. There's some goods in there that they sell, like a general store, and there's some some stools at the front where people sit, and you could order a sundae. I wouldn't, but you could. And
Yeah,
he,
how
and he goes
about
in.
how about we go in and just grab a
Yeah.
quick coffee?
Yeah.
Everyone go
Maybe
with
a
that?
Sunday or something.
No.
You go in, and this place has cobwebs on top of cobwebs. It looks like it hasn't seen the touch of a broom or a duster in over a decade. There's a slight smell of rat or mouse droppings in the place. There are traps without. You can see there's a trap in the corner without any cheese in it. It's just an empty trap, and he walks in and he goes behind the counter, and he says, "Yeah, have a seat."
Thank you.
Listen, I can't tell you much. It's a strange town.
Can I do a spot hidden?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for anything that would, any kind of saved news articles, any pictures, anything that would suggest that he is related to a young woman who was murdered. 44.
She wasn't murdered. She was raped.
Or raped. Sorry. Yes.
You
Raped.
succeeded.
Yes.
You can see behind the counter. There's a family photo, and there's a picture of a young woman.
And sorry, David. What was his name again?
Bernard.
Bernard.
And there's a few pictures up there, and one of them is of a young woman, which would pretty much match her description.
You got kids, Mr. Slocum?
Yeah, I got kids.
Do you worry about them?
Yeah, in this town, you gotta worry about everything. You gotta watch your back. You're strangers here. You just gotta be careful of who you talk to in this town. You just gotta be careful.
That car full of people you saw, do you know where they might have been headed or what direction they were headed in?
They got some gas and then they just went down the street.
Oh yeah. And now look, we would never want to put you in a position where you would be in any sort of danger, and we do not mean to alarm you in any way. But we are helping a friend of ours, who we believe may have gotten lost around here. We heard he may have. We heard that the people in that car may know something about that. Have you ever heard of the name Andrew Fisher before? No. And you do not know the owners of that car.
Oh, there's only a few families who own a car like that in this town. It's probably the Marshes. I didn't see any of the Marshes in it, but it's probably there.
Who did you see in the car?
Oh, it's a bunch of kids.
Was one of them what you would describe as a flapper?
Yeah. I seen some kids hanging out with Esther Marsh. They're probably the same ones.
Do you ever hear their names?
No.
Where do you see them hanging out?
I've seen them they've known her. I've seen them for the last couple of years with her, around her.
Was she in the car?
No.
Where do you usually see them hanging out?
Oh, just in town.
In town.
Around to get gas.
Was one of the kids in the car very large?
Yeah. Big guy.
Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I know who he is. His name's he's going to give you the names, right, as you ask. Because some of them, there's one woman that he doesn't know the name of,
Yeah.
but the others, we got Earl Waite, we got Jesse Gilman, we got Nick Elliott, who's the big guy, and then we have Amy Suffolk.
What was the big guy's name?
Nick Elliott.
Nick Elliott.
Sorry, what were the other two names? There was
Earl Waite, Jesse Gilman,
Jesse Gilman,
Amy Suffolk, and then the flapper.
Yeah. So Luther kind of when he hears Earl Waite, he's like, is he related to Abigail and Robert?
Oh, I don't know. There's Waits for days around here.
All right.
Well, officer, do you have anything you want to talk to him about, maybe?
Well, she's not officer in this town.
Oh, it's a cute nickname I have for her. You know, she always keeps me on a leash. You know what I mean?
We're engaged.
Yeah.
The Amish guy doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You gotta.
He didn't even catch the officer.
I'm gonna say,
thank God.
why don't you boys head back to the car, and I'll pay for the coffee then. Yeah.
Yeah, you got like something I can clean up the cars with out here, like
He
squeegee.
throws you a rag from behind the counter.
Wonderful. I love you country folk. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna so that we're in private. Do you have any grandchildren, Mr. Slocum?
No. Make a psychology.
That is a failure.
Okay. So he just says no, and walks away. So he's wiping down some things. And you two,
Aren't we all?
you're still inside. You're just leaving now, right? Or no,
Yeah.
you're still
Can
inside.
I roll psychology?
Oh, you're with her, and you two are gone.
Oh,
You left the.
I'll stay inside.
Did you
Oh.
not just
Right
leave?
back up.
I thought we all.
yeah, she like probably.
Really?
just
I
leave,
wanted
so
them
we
to
would've-
so that I could be.
That's what I
alone.
thought was
Yeah,
happening.
no,
Yeah.
But
we
I
would've
didn't.
left.
But
I just
you get to roll. You run your characters. If you don't leave, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't want to.
No, I want to leave if she's intimating.
All
I
right.
should leave.
Okay, good. So the two of you head out, and as you leave and go towards the car, you can see that across the street in Downways,
Mm-hmm.
there's a there's a guy who's leaning against the building. He's a fairly large guy. He's got a hat over his face, like one of those caps, gray cap, and he seems to be watching you guys.
Can I do a? I don't know if this works. Can I do a spot hidden to see if he looks fishy? I don't know.
Looking for him.
I think you're gonna have to just decide that for yourself.
Just decide that. If he looks fishy,
Oh,
like
you
I mean,
mean-
like literally,
Oh,
like a fish, not suspicious.
what's your Innsmouth lore?
Only 6.
He looks fishy.
He looks fishy. He looks. Like
He's huge. He's a big guy, and his clothes don't fit properly. He looks like he's got muscle on muscle, or something about him is really bulky.
How far is he? Just across the street?
He's across the street and down a bit, so I would say 100 feet away.
And does he look unnaturally big? Because like Luther is quite big. Like, is he just? So is he like weirdly big? Is he like the guy in the back seat?
He's not as big as that guy was.
Right.
He's just, and it's not that guy.
Right.
He's thinner, but he's hunched over a little bit, and he's caught and he's taking up some space.
Could
He's just staring at you.
Could Sasha just stare him down like from like what's this like 1,000-yard?
You'll never win a stare against an Innsmouth guy.
Yeah. Never win a
Should we?
stare.
Can I go to such?
You can't win a staring contest against someone.
Oh, I was just like. Is there any way I can intimidate him? That's kind of what I was like trying to do. Like I was trying to like.
I was doing this. I think Luther kind of puts his hand on your shoulder, and he's like, "Do you think he has any cigarettes?"
I think he may have cigarettes with persuasion.
Like I said, you
think
know what I mean, Sasha, right? Like, sorry, I know English
I-
isn't your first language. I'm saying if we ask him for a cigarette, maybe we can get an idea of who this guy is.
I don't break eye contact. Sasha doesn't break eye contact. Says, "I am just out of cigarettes. Why do we not ask him?"
I think you get it. I guess. Do you want to go up to him then?
You done?
Okay.
Are we both going up to him?
Yeah, we can go up to him.
Okay, the two of you approach this guy. You get a little bit closer, and there's a definite aroma about this dude as you approach, and he does smell. I mean, this whole town smells of fish and despair, but this guy in particular, he's reeking of both.
How close are we at this point?
You're now about 15 feet, and you're approaching him. He looks up at you, and he's got his cap over his eyes,
Yeah.
which are covered, and you can see his lips are really wide. So you
Yeah.
get closer, you can see his skin is mottled and gray, and there's a weird bulk about him. Like it's like he has rounded shoulders, or there's something at the back that's taking up extra space. It's like he's a hunchback or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he's fairly large. He's about 6'1". Yeah, and wide.
Friend, we
Hey.
have noticed that you have noticed us from the gas station. We pat our pockets, have no cigarettes, and wondering.
Luther, as soon as he says, "We have noticed," he's just like,
Maybe you notice our plight, and you are wondering if maybe you could offer us cigarettes.
Jesus.
That's a good question. Are you gonna try him? What are you gonna do?
I'm going because cigarettes are bad for health, like many things. Much like staring at people from 100 feet away, I find this could be bad for health in certain
Really?
situations.
as soon as he starts talking about this, I kind of take a half step behind him, and I just put my hand on my mace, which is in my pocket.
Okay, I'm gonna try and intimidate
Mace
him.
exists? Probably not.
Go ahead.
I was looking at the wrong list. Is there mace?
No, that's
Like-
that's a regular
I
failure.
have a
Alright.
pepper spray.
Mace.
All right. So what are you saying?
I'm just saying, staring at people from far away is also could possibly be construed as a unhealthy habit for some situations.
Not in this town.
Interesting. I am not local, as maybe you can tell with my accent. Funny man can tell. Hears things and sees things from far away. Very interesting.
My God.
Well, my friend, do you have any other
I
questions?
just go. So I just go. I go. Sasha, why don't you? Sorry,
Yeah.
he's. He's from Russia.
Don't understand cultural things here.
And I go, I'm Luther Babson.
Babson. He takes your hand,
Yeah,
and it's a firm grip.
yeah,
But there's a squishiness to it, and you can see as you touch
yeah,
that he has webbed fingers.
yeah.
Could I spot hidden to see if there's anyone else around?
And there's a grip as he looks you in the
Yeah.
eye. Babson,
And I go,
we have another one of you around.
yeah, I just moved in.
I heard.
Yeah. I go, what's your name?
Ortiz.
Ortiz? Ortiz what?
Mario.
Mario.
Yeah, make a sanity roll.
Yeah.
Both of us?
Both of you.
That is a hard success.
Yeah.
Finally.
That is a success.
You don't lose any. This guy has some serious deformities in his body and his skin.
Yeah.
He's not he's a sideshow.
Yeah.
He moves with difficulty,
Yeah.
and his hand has a strong grip,
Yeah.
but he's got webbed fingers.
He's got webbed fingers.
And the when he leaves you, there's a trail of slime on your hand,
Yeah.
which you want to wipe off,
But I do not.
but you do.
I kind of just hold it by my side.
And he says, "So Babson, what brings you back?"
Virgil went missing. They brought me, sent me a letter. Yeah, I was hoping to find out what happened to him.
You're not going to find Virgil.
No?
No, he's gone.
Yeah? You not, do what Ephraim asked?
Listen, Virgil's gone. He couldn't take it.
Hmm.
I think you'll probably find that he didn't last long after he came here.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Did you
might
meet
want to
him?
think about that before you go any further here.
Huh.
I recognize you look a lot like him.
Really?
Yeah, you do.
I never got to meet him.
Yeah, you do.
How old are you?
Older than you. You little. And he,
I just
he spits and he throws some sort of gobby, gooey shit at
I just go, sorry, do you have a cigarette? I think it would just
It would
calm
really
down
calm
my...
me down.
He grabs. He has a pack of cigarettes and he hands you one.
Yeah.
And then he lights it with his right. All right, and so this guy's a picture,
Yeah.
and people are giving the one or two people who walk by,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting an idea of them.
Mhm.
Everybody in Innsmouth has a cast down look. They don't look at each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in all different stages of some of them are what you would call regular folk when they're not looking at you, and some have their faces covered, scarves, or even on today, which is not particularly cold. People are covered up.
Say, I thought I saw someone around here. I hear there are many parties around here. I've heard of one party vehicle driving around this town, and I was wondering. Thank you for cigarette. I was wondering if there was any place where I could find more friends to share cigarettes and stories with.
Wait, trying to get what you're going for here.
I guess that's more charming than I would.
What are you going for? What are you trying to bait him with?
I don't know. I was just trying to figure out if he was the guy in the car, the big guy that we kept hearing about in the car. Right.
That's what you just said is not good enough to get that information.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you want to ask him about? You guys had a bit of a moment, so let's stay over here.
Can I do a psychology roll on
Yeah,
him?
you can.
Yeah, I just want to go back to like,
Where's the sanity on that one?
that's a hard success. I think. Yeah.
There's something about him that you, honestly, you look at him
Yeah.
and you should be. If you made your sanity check, you should think of him as a fucking monster.
Yeah.
But there's something sad about him, and something that he's not saying, and you don't find in his glare when he's looking at you or not staring. There's not a violence that you might expect.
Mhm.
When you met Birch
Yeah.
and Rope and Martin,
Yeah.
you felt an animus towards you.
Yeah.
And this guy, you do not sense that there's a pent up desire to split your head open or any of those other things.
Right.
Right. So there's something else happening with him. It's a secret. And he's there for a purpose.
He's there for a purpose.
Well, he seems like he's been watching you.
So,
He wasn't just hanging out there. He appeared after you got the gas and was staring at you and offered him a cigarette. And so his actions belie everybody else is not making eye contact with you. Everybody else is moving around like they don't belong there.
Yeah.
Only 2 people so far have actually engaged with you.
Yeah. I say to him, I tell him, like, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Do you like what's going on here?
He spits again and goes, I hate this town.
Why do you live here?
Where else am I gonna go? He looks at you with his big eyes and his mottled skin and his transformed physique.
I say, like,
And you get it.
yeah. But I say, like, do you with that, I say, like, do you have a trade, or
I'm a fisherman.
there's fishing towns down the road.
Look at me, he says.
Why? Yeah. Why are you watching us?
New people in town. I'm always interested. And he says, "You go your way. If you need anything, I'm right down the street." And he walks. And he starts walking away.
I say, okay. I say, fuck. I go. You know what? You want to change? You can go to the Babson estate, ask for Sanford Eakley,
Tell him Luther sent you.
and tell him Luther sent you there.
And he kind of laughs and he says, "Yeah, Babson's really going to change things around here." And he says to you, "You know what street we're on?"
I go Marsh Street.
No, Babson Street.
I
He
know.
points up to the fucking the sign, and you're on the corner of Babson and Maine.
I go. Oh, there's Marsh Street. I go.
And
Okay,
he said,
well,
"Anyway, I'm down the street if you need anything. You be careful."
I go, okay, but only if you think about what I said.
All right. And you can see him sort of like
Yeah.
lope down the street. There's something disgusting, repellent about him and the way he moves.
Yeah.
You have to kill him.
And you leave the. Oh no! Wait. So did you have any other questions?
I
about
wanted
it?
to-
some more stuff too.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
wanted to
go
push
ahead.
my roll. I totally forgot we could do that. Can I push my roll?
You absolutely can.
I'm not sure if I wanted to push my psychology roll or what, but I wanted to basically like just
Ask
say,
that question again.
Ask the question again, or
So
even,
you could say, "Who's the girl in the photo?"
or even
That
just
would push it.
Yeah, okay. Or even just say like, I like.
What's the risk, right?
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll just push it and just ask again. Who's
I mean,
the girl in the
there's
picture?
2 things you could say. What happened to Emma? Which would
What happened to Emma?
Really
or even
push
like
it.
I know everyone's forgotten about Emma, but like I'm trying to figure it out. And if you help me, maybe we can do something. Okay.
Come on,
Heavy.
Biddy.
So this is what? Psychology? Persuasion? Charm? What would that be?
Okay, wait. Pick your poison and roll the die.
Okay.
What did you do originally? Psychology, wasn't
I
it?
did psychology
And
originally.
what is your psychology roll? What is your
44.
Oh, I bet you wish it was higher.
I do, that's why I pushed it.
Okay, go roll psychology again.
Oh,
48.
All right.
Use luck?
do you want to
Could
put
you use
any
luck on
points
that?
I
into it?
kind of do, yeah. How do I use luck?
You just take 4 off of your total.
How much luck do you have?
Can I assist
Oh,
in any way?
No. She's the one with all the information.
No,
You
it's true.
cannot.
It's true.
You're gonna take 4 off your luck.
Okay.
And what is it that you say to him again?
I don't even want to ask him a question. I just want to say, like, I want to make an assumption. I don't know if this will
All
hurt
right.
me or not, but I'm going to basically say, like, I know you feel like everyone's forgotten about Emma, but I haven't. And I want to help.
All right. So, it's really good. All right. At that point, you could see the thing in him that you missed before.
Strangles
Which
me to death, though.
He turned around because he was starting to cry when he asked about the daughter, about
grandchildren.
Grandchildren, and then he does turn around and face you,
Mhm.
and you can see that a man like him, especially, doesn't cry, and he's been through it a lot, but you can see the tears in his eyes, and he leans towards you, and he says to you, "That bastard's gonna see justice." And he says, Emma passed away last year,
I'm so sorry.
and I'll never forgive them for what they did to her.
What can you...
And by the way he says passed away, it's obvious to you that she committed suicide. And I'm going to give you a successful psychology roll that. Without role playing him too much, I'm going to also give you the information that there was a baby, but the baby died.
Okay.
And so you know about the Slocum family and the fact that Emma committed suicide last year after this thing, and that their baby had died prior to that, under mysterious circumstances. The
baby died under mysterious circumstances?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You have questions? You're like, maybe
Jeff's
not
just
the
been
best time.
awkwardly standing in the corner.
He's got two sons. Slocum, you can see that,
Mhm.
and you also, in conversation as you get more information, she's spending about 45 minutes in there talking to him, and he's hard to get information out. But you did take the luck hit, so I'm going to give you he does live down the street. Let's see as we look down Babson Street. You guys love Innsmouth, right? Yeah, Bernard Slocum family lives here, and you guys, the gas station is here, so it's right down there. And this is the house that Mario Ortis mentioned.
Oh, right.
And he lives
Yeah.
down the street.
Mario Ortis.
Gas station is there, and Slocum is there.
Um,
It seems like the south part of town is the worst part of town. It's where the slums are, but it also seems where, obviously, well, you can make your own conclusions about the NPCs you met.
I do still have a question.
Yeah.
Bernard, I am very sorry to hear all this. Now, we have, I think, a mutual interest in the Babsons, specifically certain members of that family.
Marshes.
The Marshes. The Babsons, I have an interest in them, but the
Don't
lovely
worry.
people.
Cut.
Yeah, great.
Snip.
Now, we do have an interest in the Marshes, and you mentioned that car that you saw come by here recently and get gas, that probably belongs to the Marshes. Do you know where that car might park?
I wasn't watching.
Do you know where Ralsa Marsh lives?
Oh yeah. He's in the center of town, and he points you down the road.
It's to the map.
He points to the map. He points to the center of town. I will point this out. Okay, so you guys are around here,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is the center of town, this area, and Marsh, the town jail is there, and Marsh and Associates would be around there. So water
Right.
tower here, There's abandoned railway station, fire station, the Gilman House Hotel. This is the main drag of Innsmouth, and it's where you're going to find the esoteric Order of Dagon, the Marsh family estate, and the refinery, and all of the major industries. And this is the slums, and this is the abandoned warehouses, and this is the abandoned northern part. So if I might say, this is essentially Innsmouth.
Right. And everything else is just kind of the slum around it.
It's slum, and it's fallen to ruin.
Okay. So he doesn't know where the car went. I will be honest with you, sir. There is someone, a friend of ours, who I believe may also be hurt by the marshes, or may be in some form of danger from them. I do not know what the connection is, but if there's anything that you can tell us to help us find these people before they do something regrettable to our dear friend, it would be sincerely appreciated.
All I can say is they're bad people, and if I hear anything, I'll pass. I'll do what I can. If you give me a number, I'll get you the information.
Of course, this is for my office.
And what he does do is he gets out a map of Innsmouth, a local map, and he gives you an indication of all the places, so you get that information from him, which is actually your annotated map for players. You can ask him some questions, and he'll tell you where all the landmarks in. And as a gas station, he's got a whole bunch of them that he just pulls off and draws in. So that's what the information you get from him. So eventually, you get a feeling that you could spend more time. He wasn't begrudging your time. He wasn't pushing you out, but it kind of wore itself out,
Yep.
and then you cross. Mario has left you with some questions. You know where he lives. He did invite you over to his house to talk, in a sense. And the four of you meet around the car. By this time, you sense you've been here for over an hour at the gas station, talking to people, and you're sensing, a couple of things. One, you don't see anybody. There are no people on the streets at the moment.
What time is it?
It's around noon.
Okay.
The streets are empty.
So he said that the car had gone by and it headed uptown.
North, towards the center of town.
Towards the center of town about an hour or two ago.
No, he
Sorry,
didn't
what did
say
he
that. No.
What?
Yeah, he said it went. He said he thought it went that way, and I didn't really tell you which direction it was.
I thought he said north. I don't know.
No,
I
that
said
was-
it
no,
went
that was
north
the
out of
thing.
Arkham, but not in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't say which direction it was going
He
in?
did not.
No.
Go back in and ask him. Sorry, that's sort of what I was trying to get at with the,
I know,
where does
but
it park?
I unfortunately, because
Like he might just not remember.
if you actually look at the map, it could have been.
Could have been
Let's look at that.
Right.
Yeah.
He literally could have. This is the gas station.
So it could have gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
it went this way, it doesn't tell you anything. If it went this way, it doesn't tell you anything. It just doesn't tell you anything.
Right.
Because so all you know is they were there.
And he saw it. Sorry, around. You said like a couple hours before we got there,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Okay. Well, we have some leads. We can go start looking for this car, and maybe check by the Marsh residence. See if they're there. Maybe.
Yeah, I think we just have to get moving.
Yeah, we just gotta start driving around and looking for these guys.
All right, let's take a little break.
Okay. I'm so.
All right, so we're gonna end the episode now. Now that we're back, it's late, so we're gonna wrap things up for tonight and do another episode of The Hopeful. So part 3 will come, and so you all gather. The two of you come out of the gas station, troubled about what you spoke to Slocum about, and you two, having dealt with Ortiz, Mario
Ortiz.
Ortiz, the two of you, having come out and dealt with Mario Ortiz, you have your theories. You're getting a sense of what this town is like, but the fact that there is nobody here is starting to worry you. When you arrived an hour ago, there were people moving back and forth. You were being noticed. People were observing you. But now there's nobody around. Slocum is in the gas station. Ortiz has disappeared. And the streets are deserted. So, one last time, as we end, let's describe ourselves and what you're thinking, or you can say something. And let's start with you, Jeb.
Okay. Jeb Spiegelman. Jeb Spiegelman wearing his suit, kind of rumpled now, a little bit shaken, a little bit on edge. And he is just thinking to himself, God, why didn't I just join the family butcher business like my mother said I should? And that's it.
Excellent.
And Astrid Elliott has sort of closed the jacket she's wearing over her blouse, even though it is still not so cold out. She's shaking a little bit, and she just keeps hearing in her head, "You're an Elliot. You're an Elliot. You're an Elliot."
Sasha is standing beside the car. He's got his cigarette that Mario gave him, and he's just like doing the last pull on it, but like as much as he can get, and then without breaking eye contact with it, he flicks the cigarette to the ground, or he drops it and then kicks it out because it's beside a gas station, and then he's just staring at the double-barreled shotgun in the back seat of the car, just thinking about how necessary, just thinking about when it might come up.
Babson? On Babson Street?
Yeah, no, he's looking at that. He's kind of just like looking at where Ortiz walked by and like sort of looking towards his house and back down the street, and then also just sort of like takes a pause to take in that there's like a street sign with Babson on it.
And on that image, we'll end tonight's game. And we'll get set up for the thrilling conclusion to the hopeful. But not the thrilling conclusion to the Innsmouth campaign, because there is much to do. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And
Bye.
recording is...